There we go. Big move, guys, as we get the minutes here from the latest Federal Reserve meeting. You can see just populating here. Once we get the statement, I'll take a look and pass along any changes because, again, if you're just seeing this for the first time, it's about the changes that we see in the minutes going back to the prior meeting. So I'll work my way through this, guys, but nice move here for the futures.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, big time movement here. Thanks for that, because that's what I need, here. Man. I just said our quotes were a little bursty there. I wasn't sure where we're at, but here it is. We did short Microsoft into that move. So yeah, go ahead and let's have a quick look. You get us any information you do have there, my friend. A nice move to the down.
Action. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so it's just whipsaw. I just want to say, if you come over to my screen, Fog, just quickly, I was waiting at 227. We, happy birthday. It comes in, we get it. But again, these quotes and everything moving around, waiting to get more information from Brendan, because honestly, this is pretty, I don't want to say whack, but pretty wild, needless to say right now, as there it is. There's the bounce back up. So I don't know, man, Neil. I don't know what you're thinking right now. These quotes,
I was sitting, go ahead. I was sitting in the money, like 50 pennies on coin, and same thing with like Micron went deep in the money, then you got a snapshot back to the upside. But overall, we haven't really broken out of this range here. Remember, they got to digest the language in these meeting minutes to be sure. So you don't always get an initial reaction that stays true. Brendo?
At first glance, guys, I'm not really seeing anything that's different or overly different, but one line to key in on here. Fed officials saw cost of doing too little to fight inflation outweigh doing too much. So maybe a sign that they're leaning on the heavy side as far as increases are concerned as we head towards November. I mean, there's nothing in here other than that we haven't seen before, again, at first glance.
So, look, that sounds still hawkish to me. And obviously, like, I'm in NCLH, but that's more like deep in the money. I've actually been in coin and memu here as we got some recent trades. And I look over at something like a Tesla, which has been beaten up, and that ticked to the high and then rejected the high. My gut, unless we see something which is too crazy, is also, remember, we had a hot PPI print, and if we get a hot CPI tomorrow, you might see a bit of a risk off. But oddly enough, we are headed to the top side. I feel like I want to be fading these highs. But that sounded hawkish to me. That's not the reaction that we're seeing. It sounded hawkish. We're still below resistance levels. I'm looking at Tesla at this top, and I'll pull it back for you a little bit here. A double top on Tesla at 217.50. That's where I want to get out. Micron just tagged me out on the short side there. So I'll hang on. If Coin and Lyft hang on, Lyft at the high of the day, we'll get to that in a minute. But here comes that Tesla top. I'm a little bit surprised by this move, given what we just heard from Brendan with regards to that language.
I am like literally scared to trade. Like, I've never seen liquidity dry up and basically be non-existent like that was. Like, I had a couple hundred shares up there of Microsoft, and I was like panic city. Like, I had no idea what was going on at all. If this is a sign of what's to come tomorrow, I don't know. Brendan, what you got?
This is insane.
Something on employment, guys. They're saying that a certain amount of Fed officials are saying that unemployment could rise above expectations. So if we go back to the last meeting, remember Fed Chair Powell was saying that they need to see unemployment tick higher and the labor market tick down to show a sign that inflation is slowing. So a number of Fed officials, again, saying that they could see unemployment tick higher than expected.
So they're going to overtick on unemployment. Okay, we'll definitely.
Unemployment seen higher. We just got the lowest unemployment reading in like forever, 3.5%.
I think that seems like it's going to be lagging. I've heard a few analysts sort of say that sort of sentiment as well. But basically, we're getting whipsaw action. So I got stopped out of Micron. However, look at Coinbase here for a quick second, because I'll tell you, like, when Sean's saying that there's not a lot of liquidity, like, this has floated from VWAP up to the top end of the range. There's like a 50 penny range where it just floats up, tags the top, and then the bid drops, and it's right back at VWAP with barely any printing. So, I mean, you want to sit on that line. Well, that line right now is 70.40 where my stop is, and I'm just going to try to work it. And it's very similar. Like, Lyft at the high of the day is the same thing. I was just looking at Tesla, which should have just jumped at it, but there was no liquidity up there. But it tagged the high of the day, missed it by 10 cents, and then without any real volume, you're $1 lower already. So crazy moves happening in the market. I got coin here. We'll be okay with that one. NCLH is a bit of, like I said, this will be a different story because I just slapped a trail on this, and the entire space has been relatively strong. throughout the day. We've had a few longs. The last one was a breakout. We had one this morning, but it's off of those highs just a little bit. So holding strength, and I have a trail underneath this 1265. It does feel hawkish to me, so I'd rather sit in the shorts. APDN's a small cap, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. I mean, it can break the low, but the big cap names, it feels like we should be heading lower, but this market needs to settle itself down. It's only been 5 minutes. And a lot of times you get a more true reaction a little bit deeper in after those Fed minutes. Could take a little bit here for us to settle things out. But we're rejecting these tops on multiple names is what I'm seeing.
We're going to, I mean, I know you just did an example on Coinbase there, but like I've been trading for 21 years, and honestly, like I've never seen Fed minutes like mean anything. Neil was like, oh, are we gonna go do, because me and him were discussing what trade of the day we're gonna do Lyft, so get ready for that in a little bit. I was gonna say maybe Meta or whatever, but we were discussing it, and then Neil's like, well, maybe we'll just do trade of the day in a couple minutes after the Fed minutes. And I'm like, Fed minutes? Like, that's not gonna be a major thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, huh? Yeah, anyways, Fed minutes.
I think the algos just kind of pulled their, like, so what it feels like when I'm looking at the chart or the level 2 is it kind of just feels like a lot of the market makers, which right now it's just algos that do like the majority of market making, which is posting bid and ask and making a market, as they say. It's almost like that just sort of stopped, which happens on a number at the exact moment, but usually like it comes back in. Like you do see the quotes come back in here. Like look at this. I don't know why this is on a Coinbase. If you come to my area, you guys can see it. But if I look at the quote, it's starting to fill in a little bit. But when we got toward the high, essentially you would drift up. There'd be no printing on the time and sales. You'd get to the top, and it would just sort of float higher, no real quotes, nothing past like 100 shares here or there. And then there'd be nothing printing as it would gravitate toward the high. And that's when there's no volume on the move to the upside, I always feel like you should be fading it. And that's what I saw over there on Coinbase. Meta's not too different. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we're kind of floating in this range. Not a heck of a lot has changed. So I think we can kind of settle down. It felt a little bit hawkish, but the market has decided we're going to stick in a 50-point range that the NASDAQ was already in, at least temporarily.
Yeah, no, I was just adjusting my order here because I did take a piece out of Softy right there at 50. I was just like, I let it go all the way down, and then it came back in the middle, and so now I'll hold for 227 or hold for the bottom. It's a pretty easy situation for me right here. But this is what I wanted to get at before we started talking there. Like, you guys are right in the chat, right? The algos completely pulled away. They said no more. We're lucky. Let's put it this way. We're lucky that CPI comes at 8:30, not while the market's open, because that would be disastrous. Like if what I just saw right there was on Fed minutes, I don't even know what these algos would be doing if and when this number came out at 10 o'clock or something tomorrow. Like look at Apple right here. So Apple goes from 139 all the way down to 138, back to 139, back to 138, back to 138.90, and now again a couple back and forths now as we wait for that next leg to drop. Like to me, trading share size when you're doing something like this is really the challenge, right? It's what do you do? Do you go lower on your shares, or do you say I'm going to wait for extremes, take the position like I did here? And it's not. This was just I was sitting there at 227 and just not expecting too much violence. So we did take. Here it goes. We're going to get out at 227 when this breaks. But again, a very violent move here for CPI. Look, I was in Meta. Yeah, okay, out. And then the rip up, like we were just long Meta 126.50. It's at 127.50 right now. So I apologize. I should still be long Meta. We're going to be close to the highest spot we've been at all day, and a lot of that was due to, of course, that now we're out. That crazy move there because we were able to take a decent position and then got a lot of them out here for a nice little win. As now we're starting to take out the top. So yeah, the market definitely likes this news. It seems like we're only kind of right back where we were at 2 p.m. But there it is. Now we're starting to extend. So nice little extension here on the market. I like this move, obviously, for us here. Nice move for the market. We got to look for some longs, man. Costco, people talking about. SoFi, you guys want to talk about SoFi? A nice move back. Okay, $5. Good level for SoFi for sure. Yeah, look at that move, man. Nice move for SoFi. So again, I mean, Brendan, if there's anything key that's coming out of there, I'm just seeing the same thing that Brendan's seeing right now. FOMC minutes, a few officials said unemployment could rise above forecasts. So the good thing about that is If unemployment is ticking higher, it gives Fed reason to pause. So that would be something for me that I'm thinking about. But let's go, man. This is going to be a good one. Brendan, what's up?
All right, so a couple more interesting notes here before we get into a bit of a review, guys. So two more headlines that kind of came across that moved the market back to the upside a little bit. This one first, several participants noted it would be important to calibrate the further tightening or moves in further tightening based off of data and assess adverse effects as they go along. And then this one as well, participants observed that it would become appropriate at some point to slow the pace of rate increases. So again, it would become appropriate at some point to slow the pace of rate increases. But I mean, we've heard all of this before, so more of the same. Let's, as I said, get into a little bit of a review as we do daily, talking about what was available as far as opportunity. If you joined us in the pre-market this morning, we were talking about a whole bunch of stuff once again. A ton of stuff on the tech side, but there was also this whole gig economy story that came up yesterday that has affected things 2 days in a row for Uber and for Lyft and for DoorDash as well. So Neil's going to lead us off here with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Yes, sir. Trade of the day going to be brought to you by Day Trade, the world as it always is. Start your trading journey the right way with the capital you need. And it's Lyft today. Now, yesterday, I mean, it certainly could have been Uber. I know we ended up doing something else, but it certainly could have been Uber. And day two after the gig economy companies are under pressure. And what I love about day two events is you can go back and look at capitulation, vacuums in liquidity, and look at the key prices that surround it. So when you had that initial drop when the news came out, where did you bounce on Lyft? Right about $12. You then had a little bit of a relief rally and then the harsh rejection. It made a fresh low, and then what happened at about lunchtime? It rejected 12 on the nose. So you know what level I'm going to be looking at? I'm going to be looking at the $12 level coming into it. So at the open, you're nowhere near it. You're diddling in the middle at 11.50. No trade for me. We know at the open, you can get those big spikes up. And I've been saying this to myself over and over again. Allow it to test the level. Wait to get in. Fortunately, this is a good example of waiting to get in here. Sometimes you don't catch it on that way back down because you are waiting for the rejection. It pops. Takes 12, I see a wick top. I don't get this entry, and I decide not to chase it when it's consolidating down at 1180. I decide to wait for some fills in the high 80s, and I was actually waiting for some 90s as well. We had a rejection of my level. You're now entering into the short. You had a pre-market top here at 1175 and an established support level. I'm not taking anything out till it gets to said support level. And then you had a breakout price here at about 1055, so 1155, 1160, where I wanted the next leg of support. Now, unfortunately, we do not get the bigger break to the downside. Sometimes that's going to happen to you. It can be a perfect setup, and then you only get the inside move of the trade. Market starts to scream up. I decide not to. It wasn't neglect. It was I make the decision consciously that I didn't want to do the reload on Lyft. Clearly, it would have worked just rinsing and repeating the exact same trade. Now, here is where it gets hairy because you'll see, nice trade, good opportunity in the setup, but when it tests that high again, the mistake here is I get in one time, there is a rejection of the top, wick down, I'm in the trade. There's no need to add to it. I should be sitting in this trade, allowing it to either break down, go into support both times. But when it retaps the top and fails again, I'm like, ooh, let's take some more. Not really good reason to do so. Why? Because it's already tested once, fail break, double, and now higher lows. That's one thing that you got to consider. You've got a set of higher lows going into that move. You're still respecting that 12 even level, but it's the third time we're testing this level, and you've got higher lows into it. No need to add to the position because when it stops out the top, you're just losing a little bit extra on the trade. Fortunately, I did go for the reversal here, so we got stopped out. We reversed when it dips to the breakout price. A couple of decent scalps, but it couldn't break 12.10. It just broke 12.10, and I was back into it, the short actually. But we were able to get some out 12.10. The last third we break stop at break even, and then I'm working the short off the high of the day once again, scalping 10 cents, and then eventually losing 3 or 4. So it turns into a more tightly wound trade in that upward trend. What I want to learn when you're up on a stock, you shouldn't just sit there on your laurels and say, okay, I did everything right. No, you should ask yourself, what could you do better? And the one thing that I think was obvious outside of taking the trade the second time is there was no need to get aggressive after the higher lows into that next test of the high of the day. If anything, you can sit that one out and wait for the breakout, or when it makes the break, look for the dip at that same support level. I didn't flip until a little bit too late there, but you can always learn something. That's why we do the trade of the day here, because you're always trying to get better. And as always, brought to you by Day Trade the World.
All right, market trying to make a move back to the upside here and hold on to some of these gains following the Fed minutes. Again, bit of a non-event. Nothing terribly different as far as the minutes are concerned from that meeting, again, going back to last month. Make sure you grab that every single day, guys. And then you come join us at 8:30 in the pre-market. We get you set and ready for the day. Every day with what is happening for the morning. Meta, I was just watching here, some volume coming back into Meta, back to 128. Meta was top of the watch list once again this morning as we come off of the launch of Quest, the VR headset, as we were saying. Trying to rally here, guys, with the overall market is Meta.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, look, we've been all over Meta today. I mean, this was another candidate for a trade of the day. It's my #1 name today, unless Microsoft. Microsoft and Meta pretty close to each other right there. We've been buying dips all day long, and the problem is we bought that last one and got taken out there just before Fed speak there, so that kind of sucks for us, but that's okay. Meta is coming back in a little bit now, so. Don't mind that as a trade if we can get some longs back there. But again, it's new 52-week lows, man. I mean, there's nothing good about Meta. Meta's been absolutely clobbered over the last little while. This is what it looks like. It's pretty sad, just straight downside. This is a brand new 52-week low. This is from when we switched over from Meta, from Facebook to Meta. It was at $200. Now you're down to 127. Like, name change be damned. It doesn't really matter. I think that some of those things that Meta is doing are pretty cool. But yeah, down to 126 again goes Meta. And it's 52-week lows over and over again. So if you are going to play this name, I mean, too bad it's at the bottom of the screen, but you just want to play it off some of these bottoms. And I mean, if you're going to use a bottom, then you might as well use the bottom of the day because we were just there. And that's what we were doing right there for Meta. So I don't know. Should have held it. Obviously, we got taken out by that market move, but I still think that you could short this name. We're above VWAP now. We're above the 50 period, and we're above the 200 period. So for me, I'd like to see it get up a little bit higher before we can engage in the short. This smells a lot like a trap again. So I don't know. We're running into tomorrow. Tomorrow's CPI number is going to be a doozy, to say the least. And I just feel like we're getting trapped a little bit here. I don't know if Apple is on the board there, but just look at Meta, down 6.62, market up 0.42. Watch this. Apple still just now, I didn't know if it just turned green or not, but just turning green now for the first time. So I don't know. I don't think we have the all clear by any stretch of the imagination. It's a great move back up for the futures, and I just think that Meta still being down 0.66 in a nice aggressive move and not being able to break this 128 level right here, feel like there's a little bit of trouble here for Meta still. Nice move up. If you're long down here, you may want to take something out. You're just hovering around VWAP, and I think that 128 gets faded from here on in.
Relative strength coming back into some of these, including Apple, as you said, we'll talk about in a second here. But let's go down. We heard about Lyft here. Let's talk about Uber, maybe, guys. Day number 2 of this story that was the big one from yesterday, as the U.S. Department of Labor comes out and says they're going to take a look at ways that they can limit independent contracting that would face or create at least huge challenges for some of these companies.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to add to that I probably didn't go over during the trade of the day, and maybe use Uber as a better example of it just because I like the way the chart looks, is when you get significant capitulation bottoms, what I mean by that is clear, heavy volume, and then you get a crazy wick bottom like that, and then a hard run to the top side, and then a hold support above that level. That's a capitulation bomb. It's just like so much selling that it exhausts the amount of selling that can happen. And sometimes it doesn't really matter how big the catalyst is. You just gravitate to the upside because you've got a bunch of people that have given up on the stock, so tons of selling there. And then you have some shorts that are like, we just won. And they decide that they need to start covering. That's why you get that heavy move back into the upside. Probably some more covering today when it gapped up. But unlike Lyft, I mean, Uber didn't actually break that recovery price, $26.40 on my 15-minute here. If you look, when it zoom out when I wanted to zoom in. 26.40. It didn't get through that price on the way back up. Lower high in the afternoon, then flush back down when everything fell on the Bank of England. And it's still below that price. So 26.40 looks like a pretty good line in the sand for Uber in particular. Relief rally today, yes, but it's still, what, $2, $1.50 below where it was when this news did drop. So, I mean, a lot of way to go before it would fill in this entire gap.
We have chip talk coming up there. Yeah, I mean, we should have probably shorted Uber before. We missed that on the day. I don't know what to do now. I'm like, just right now, just trying to like, chill, and see what's going on. So Chill-Winston right there. We're going to get another out here if we can. And I'm just trying to do the same thing. Like, there it is. Yes, sir. So, again, hit the siren. We're working on getting new graphics, so stay with us there. Hey, what's up, Katrine? How's it going? Sorry about today, by the way. The surprise. Yeah. All right. All right, shout out to Katrine. All right, so just quickly here on chips. Every time we pop up here to $58, we're going to short it. That's what's just been doing, 58.10. We've just been building plants again here, or planting flowers. I think someone on the chat said purple flowers again. We'll see. Now I can hold the rest. I'm going to get out on this top wick break, right? This is part of the trading. And I give a shout out to Michael Noss from Trade Ideas one more time. Looking for these kind of top wicks where we might have stopped the move. So AMD again, still positive today, making me a little nervous because it's positive and more positive than the market. But let's see if we can't get this wick downside now for AMD and look for some pressure. We've actually left AMD alone today. All day. This is normally a name that we're all over. There it is. Yes. Okay, there's the flush. We just got 85. So now we're starting to go back down to the downside here on it. Okay, 80s.
There we go.
Okay, right there. So that's it, man. Now we can hold out a little bit. Yes, sir. Nice little win there. We'll go like this. Dab it up, man. Sometimes you got to have a little bit of patience. Uh-oh. There.
It's frozen.
All right. As we work with our animations there, I did hit another one. So I'm going to say this for our animations right now. Oh, I hit fail, but it doesn't work.
They're so good that they just got to be left up there. But
Your face one's the best.
I got to drop this one that does the slap face and it just hangs
like you
there.
just sit there like. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Guys, I got to jump down to this for a quick second here because I'm just going to show it to you because this is the easiest way. I got my Trade Ideas scanner up and high of the day Momo scanner. I love this scanner, by the way. MMAT, the entire last 5 minutes has been MMAT breaking to the upside, which is absolutely crazy. And look, one of the reasons why you do that is I'm in APDN. We talk about the market moving right now and going back and forth in a tiny little bit of a range after the Fed minutes. So you're trying to navigate that, but these small caps don't care. They're going to go on their own. APDN has been working. You're approaching $1 on MMAT, which you know is one of my favorite price levels in the planet. I started out as a penny trader way back in the day. Big level on the daily, but I don't even know what's going there unless I have a bit of a scanner that I can take advantage of. So make sure you're watching this MMAT. I love it. Look, we use them all the time. I know this is what Brendan uses to give us some of these symbols. I know I'm jumping off topic a little bit here, but $1 MMAT, it is literally the only thing breaking out to the high of the day. I wish APDN was, although it is in the money to the long side. But check this one out here. Always has to be looking at what is moving.
All right, there was a move, another one that's actually near the high of day. This Coursera popped up this afternoon on this Apple note. So apparently Apple employees going to get access to Coursera. So that's helping this one today. Try to hold just below 12 anyways. But there was also a note about the union or the union store, employees of the union store not going to get benefits for Apple. But anyway, we were talking about Apple this morning on this JP Morgan note, increasing their earnings outlook for both Q4 and Q1 of next year for Apple, guys. So nice day for them.
All right, just getting that all loaded up. And this is why, guys, you want to plant those flowers here because AMD right back up to 58 again. Okay, look, Apple, I'm really surprised. So I had this on the sticky note today that we wanted 139 long. I mean, that's right where we're at now. It has, I mean, if you took that long, it was great. Today, that's that long right there. So we took that and we did hit it, and we hit it pretty good. I mean, that's, let me just call up right now, just a sticky note, just to show you guys what we're talking about quickly. There it is right there, Apple 139 long on a JPM upgrade. So we definitely knew with that. Does that mean a good quarter is coming? I don't know, but there it is. We always get a little suspicious when you see those upgrades coming ahead of quarters. So we'll see right there. But there's the 139 long. There's the L right there at 140. So for me, that's That's about as good as we can get. And then it went down to 139. I mean, this is 139.15. This is 139 flat. Again, it does dip down. We give it about 30 cents worth of risk, but then it just starts to rip up. 75-cent winners all the way to the upside, including $1.50. Fell back. We tried it again right there. Didn't work. We got out. Again, back down to 139 and back out and back out. I mean, Apple, really the apple of my eye today. A great trade for me on Apple. And then we just left it alone here during these market moves. But I'm surprised. And what I was getting at here is I'm very surprised to see Apple against the market today relatively weak, considering that we did get that JPM upgrade. So I'm a little bit nervous. If it didn't rally on that, what are we going to rally on? So for me, I'm no longer, as you can see, no longer defending this 139. A little confused about why this is moving like this. So yeah, I'm gonna stay away from Apple. I don't know. Like I would have thought on the upgrade that it did have a chance to go, and it did. And I don't think we have a losing trade in here, but good day so far on Apple. And I just don't want to ruin it. Right now, it seems a little bit confusing to me. The daily chart tells you everything you need to know. You're right at these bottoms again. The very bottom of 127, 128. I feel like that could get tested on earnings, especially if Microsoft, Meta, all these other guys can come out and start missing. Then I do think that Apple does come back here. We're well under the 50 period, and it doesn't really want to get going. So I am pretty nervous about this quarter. I think you buy the dips, but like I said, until volatility gets near that 40, and that might happen when Apple gets down here, I think we got to wait for it. Apple just relatively weak today.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, look, the market is up slightly, so Apple being positive doesn't really say much. We talk about patience all the time. I just like the double bottoms on a lot of stocks, and there was a double bottom on Apple at 138, so I'm still kind of waiting for 138. Now, we did just tick there. If I go back right here on that Fed minutes, we did tick at that bottom. Not really when I wanted to get in, to be honest with you, but it hit 138.25. I'll sit on that bid, and if it breaks 138, pretty much that one alone. I did get into that MMAT. I talked about the dollar level there. It just tapped 98 several times, and then after sort of failing, pulling back, not really breaking out the high, I'm working into the short off that $1 level as it does get a strong move, but that dollar is usually a pretty good line in the sand. I've also rinsed and repeated. And we're gonna go to Amazon in a quick second, so I just want to make sure I go back to Coinbase. It's not bouncing off VWAP anymore. It's testing a little bit higher to the 70.40. I just got in, what might be the last time off that 70.40. It can't seem to break this 69.80 level now. So it's just giving you the scalp inside of the range. At some point, it probably breaks out of this range, and I have to give up this trade. Could head to the upside and take out like a 71. The market grinding higher rather slowly. I got NCLH, which I think is going to hit $13 at some point. I'll probably get out of it in front of that and then look for a potential break. But you know, those cruise lines have been kind of doing their own thing. Tesla's $1 through its high of the day as well, so the market does look like it wants to break.
On the Fed minutes, the Fed funds tool popping to the upside a little bit, guys. So this is 75. Coming up in November. So November 2nd, it'll two-day meeting, obviously, but November 2nd will be the next interest rate decision. So that just ticked up to 81.3 to come in November, it would appear. Amazon on the watch list again this morning with this announcement this afternoon, actually. So they have a Tesla X satellite internet project that they're working on. They just announced it's going to be 2023 for a launch date to get the first satellite into orbit, guys, for their internet by satellite project.
Ooh, I like it. I mean, I think that's why you buy Tesla, right? I mean, that's why we're all invested in Tesla. If you are, it's just for that upside. I mean, new ideas, new things like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to pick up some bottoms here in Tesla, and we may just be at one, right? I mean, if you're looking at the daily chart, now we're really starting to get going again here. I mean, there's Tesla right there. We're really starting to get going right there. As Neil just said, we just took out that top of 217, kind of back into where we were on the pre-market here. That's 219.50. I said that we didn't really want to look at this name until we got back to 225, which is right here where we shorted yesterday. So I'm kind of going to stick by that. But again, it's a fun stock to trade. We really did well on this name yesterday when we found some tops. So if we found another one right here, I mean, it's going to be 220 as opposed to 225. So let's wait for that. I'll try it. I mean, I don't know what this market wants to do. Last time we got like sort of a change in policy direction. The market just kept on running all day. I feel like right now we're just kind of going back and forth here in the NASDAQ. So I kind of like this trade, shorting this 220. unless the market really starts to scream to the upside, that's not horrible. But yeah, I don't know. It might be a long back here to 217 as well. So I don't know. You're kind of still in this range. I think if we get a little outsized move upside right now, we're not that far away. Another dollar up, and we can put ourselves into a short. So let's do that. If this goes near that 220 mark, let's take the short in. Where are we in the future? So futures, same thing, man. The futures are going to have to take out almost 11,000 up there, right? So let's wait to see if that does happen. You're kind of just motoring around. I would rather be long than short. So, if we do get a pullback into here somewhere, I just feel like this market is gearing up again. But I'm going to try to use the same logic as I did yesterday, right? And that was, does anybody really want to hold positions going into tomorrow? I mean, it's 8:30 tomorrow. That's a big thing. And if it's as violent as I think it's going to be tomorrow, then yeah, I don't think I want to be holding any positions into that. But here comes Tesla right now. So it's put up or shut up, my man. And right now, I think we're going to put up. I think we're going to go around that 219.50, start the short against 220.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking, Amazon's kind of doing the same thing. I know we're going to be talking about Amazon's strength, and it's hard not to look at Tesla because that 217.50 break is killing me. But Amazon's at this pre-market high of 114. If it turns over here, it sets up as well, short off the 114 level. But yesterday's high of 115.50 has been awesome resistance. I think you have to respect it. I got to get rid of this wick on Tesla from yesterday because that's a bit frustrating because you can't see how close we just got to that 220 level. We're not there just yet. I think we're getting close. I'm already taking something off of a lower high. The thing with Coinbase is it's weaker than the market. While the market's trying to test higher, this is still working off these levels from right at lunchtime. It just can't seem to break this 70.5, and I keep going. Each time I get a better price, it creeps higher and higher. But at some point, if it doesn't break the top, and I think that we should be heading lower, I just got to try to hold on to this trade. And if we break higher, this has room to run to 72. I have to respect that. Coin did have some positive news with regards to Singapore this week. Yeah. So there is a bit of a positive catalyst there. I'm almost out of NCLH, and I think it's strong. The trend is to the upside. But sometimes when you get moves at these even dollar levels, where you broke 12 this morning, that you then broke out at 12.50, so it's like 12 to 12.50, now $13 into the upside. Your daily chart, you did have this level just a couple of days ago, rejecting 13 even. That's why I want to get out of it here. And maybe I'll be getting out on the way back down through 90s, or I'll just get the out at 95, 96, where I'm sitting on the offer as we speak. But at some point, 11% to the upside. NCLH has been an absolute beast of a stock, at least today. I mean, clearly, if I were to peel this daily chart back, it's not like it looks that great, but bouncing off 11 yesterday, trying to break 13. I'm getting out in front of 13 if I can, as we talk a little bit about the chips next. Brendo?
It was a soft, I guess, afternoon so far for chip stocks. I was just reading a story about AMD a little bit there, but AMD, I mean, we were trying, guys, back to the upside. Sean, you were looking at it. Obviously, there wasn't anything really new to talk about as far as news today, but more concerns about manufacturing coming out of China, and then what happens as we go into earnings season here, guys, for some of these chip makers.
Well, go ahead. Chip makers, ketchup chip makers, things like that. I mean, if we're talking about semiconductors.
Pratt was supposed to bring us chips today.
What kind of chips? I don't remember.
So Pratt had talked about these Lay's chips. I think it was like a masala or spice, and he's like, I can get them, and he was going on and on about it, and then I'm thinking about the chips, and I'm hungry, and guys know I like to eat in the afternoon show. So I'm kind of disappointed. He's such a considerate guy. He's always bringing food because he knows I get hungry, but he forgot those chips.
Such a considerate guy.
I wanted to die on the Micron hill today. I almost did because I was sitting there in the short the entire morning. And sometimes this is how it's going to be, right? The strongest chip name yesterday was Micron, breaking out at 51.5 all the way up to 55. You can see it. It rejected the tops. When the market tried to get higher at the open, this is what happened to Micron. It opened up, tried to retest this 53.5, dumped down, consolidated. I shorted the consolidation. I'm like, got some out. I'm like, I'm just holding. Like the market was trying to go higher and Micron was just holding. I'm like, I'm just holding this trade. We're going to head down to 52 and break 52 if this market dumps. There was never the market dump. I think I was in the right name if the market dump had come in, and I would have been able to get that bigger move. Now my trades show up like after 30 seconds from yesterday, but it just never happened to me. And I did grab one reload, reversed into a scalp long when it broke resistance, and then just sort of scalped it out, worked back into some shorts. little bit of a successful scalp, and then kind of like just diddling, get stopped out at the high there, and then more or less gave it up right on that 2 o'clock number, just as we're heading into that. Like, I was right in the short again off the same levels, and it broke resistance pretty much at 2 o'clock, but I'm always going to have a stop out on a number like that. And now you're just sort of diddling here with Micron. So I was expecting bigger moves, and sometimes it doesn't happen. And when it doesn't, you can get holding something, and you're not going to get that bigger play. I think it was the right call because at the end of the day, I can't control what's going to happen overall in the market. It was clearly a weaker name, but at some point, we just wouldn't break the lows, and that meant there was no follow-through in Micron for me. But if I see the same thing again, I would probably treat it exactly the same way. Hold on to that short, give it a chance to follow through. If you don't hold on to it, you'll never get that bigger win. And the trend was certainly with me. If we had that capitulation day on PPI, I mean, it would have been game over, I think, for Micron. And I might go back to the well tomorrow with this stock when CPI hits.
All right, I know we're going to talk a little bit about Amazon. We already did that, and I already talked a little bit about the chips there, so I'll pass on that. We just made one trade there on AMD, and we were able to, well, I can show you what we just did just quickly there. You know, we were short. You guys saw that. We kept getting out, then we shorted it again, and then when it broke above 20, we got out. So that's an 11-cent hit. But again, it's pretty much a flat trade. You know, just trying to take that shot that if we did fall, we'd have it. So in and out there, easy to sort of wash our hands of that. But I just want to go over, because I didn't have a chance too much to speak about Amazon there, because I was talking about Apple. But I'm like, we just made that top again right here at 113.80. We actually went as far as 113, well, pretty much 80 as well. 83, 84, 85. I'm going to test that one. I'm going to try to test that short here again against 114 for Amazon. So I don't know, again, we have some bad wicks here, but you know, that 114 comes into play today being the 12th. So that's it right there. It also came into play here on the 11th. We did break higher, and then we had to respect this 116 area. So if we do break above 114, I'm just giving you this trade because I'm going to be in it. So if this comes back up, I am sitting right now at 8. Well, I'm right at 80. So I just don't really want to dance with too much of a devil here. But I'm going to wait right at this level, right here at 80. Again, I mean, in hindsight, maybe we should have sat there at 70 and taken some shares, but I'm trying to put on a decent position against that high. And I'm just going to, like I said, you know, fading this move makes the most sense to me. I feel like the Fed didn't come out and say anything that was like catastrophic or anything. So with that being said, let's just continue to do that and then see where we go, right? So I'm going to wait for that number to come through from the Fed tomorrow. It's not from the Fed, but for CPI, and then rejudge this. But for today, let's go short Amazon in front of 114. That looks like it makes the most sense to me on this trade. And then we do have, and I know we're done the board now, so thanks for that, Brendo. And then we do have Tesla as well, looking to get short. Now, we just talked about getting short Tesla when we had Tesla on the board. I missed that short. So I missed the short against 220. It's right there, right now, waiting for it to jump up about $1. I'm actually waiting at 50 for Tesla, the other side, so 219.50. Would love to grab that fill there on Tesla. So if that can come up, we'll try it. And again, against 220. Even levels have been key for Tesla. Yesterday, 225 came in again. Then we took a $9 winner. I don't know. Let's just see what happens in this market. I'm flat right now. I need to find something, but I do have some plans. We have that Amazon trade. I'm debating this Apple trade as well. Apple's short against VWAP right now. That could be a trade as well. So let's just wait to see. The futures just took out 11,900 and failed again. So that's 3 or 4 times. Up, fail, up, fail, up right now. Trying to consider what to do. So let's find something to short in case this pattern continues. And for me, it may just be Apple right here, right now for a short, but I do like Meta short.
I might be in this to the short side now that I think about it, but I just rang the register on NCLH in front of 13. I said it was going to happen, going to cover it in front of that 13. But you go back 2 days ago, this topped out right at the open. It got to $12.99 and then flushed to $11.50. To the downside, made a bigger low in yesterday's trade, recovered from that low. Now we're back at 13 already. I look on the offer here. It's not necessarily about size on the offer. I'm not really seeing a heck of a lot of it. But you see a move like this, the market not breaking out. I just want to try. I said I wanted to try my hand. I wanted to get out of this and maybe try my hand at it. So I just got some. You can't go short if you're long a stock, which I've learned. I'm kidding, obviously. But yeah, it just got to resistance level. If we break out from 13, fair enough. But I'm taking this short in front of it. I did get the reload on Coinbase, so once again into the abyss. I mean, on the 15-minute chart, which is kind of working better for me right here, you're going to see it's in a pretty tight range, but it just keeps rejecting this. And I'll go to the 3 so you can see a little bit better. It just keeps rejecting the same level, giving you essentially quarters to 30s, down into 70 even. If the market flushes from here, then I think I've got something which has a chance to break through VWAP and hold on. Meanwhile, I'll just sort of rinse and repeat and scalp that trade over and over again. Tesla came real close, man. It just didn't quite get there. And I don't want to ignore APDN. I am back into APDN after this morning. Several breakouts. The first break was a loser, and I talked about this. Sort of taking that initial break of 250, not really giving it a chance, and then what it still looked like a good setup, just jumping right back into the trade, grabbing the dip buy at the same price. So it's probably not a surprise. I mean, it tried to break 250, came right back into the support that stopped me at 10 o'clock, held that same support. So by the time I saw it, we came back from a meeting. I'm like, oh, we're back here. Get on the bid right in front of it. I was fortunate to get 51s. It's already played to 65, but this could not take out 280. So I'm getting out in front of 280. And if it wants to make a break today, I can take that breakout trade through the high, which is hard to see because of my fill. That's at $2.83. So it makes a break of that high, and I think we could jailbreak on this stock at least to $3, if not a little bit higher than that. So APDN up 33% and not really showing too many signs of slowing down just yet.
All right, let's just go. I have a new position alert right now, so we'll do that. It is Meta. We took a small position on Meta. We're trying to get it against that high right here of 128, basically flat. Give it a little bit more room up here to like 128. I think the NASDAQ has some room. It's more like this 109.20, something like that, 10.920 for the NASDAQ. So I feel like there is some room here for that to play out. So we'll take a new position here on Meta. Something that's interesting to me as well, we did have the Google long earlier, right? We did have that long here a couple times, man. We tried it, both times failed. So we are net negative today on Google, fine, but not great. Like, again, pretty choppy in here. The bottoms, this is, like, we're here to show you as much as we can, but like these are not good markets to trade. And like, I'm just telling you that. I mean, I wish they were better. Some of these moves just are not really continuing. And then this is what I've been talking with some traders about this. It's like you wait to make a big move one way or the other, and then it sort of hits these extremes, and you think it's going to break out, but then it doesn't. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is just random. Like all of these false breaks and then back down. How many right in here too? All of these false breaks and then back down. Even on the longs, like there's not that many clean moves here.
There's a clean move happening in Bed Bath & Beyond of all things. So okay. Yeah, if there's something going on here with Bed Bath & Beyond, I don't know precisely what it is, obviously. So we'll see. But look, it's up 6% here, and it just broke. It broke a 520 level. And if you kind of look at the daily chart, it's been just languishing in a bit of a consolidation. So yeah, it just looks like it just picked up, made a technical break at 520. But if you look at the daily here, or the 15 minutes, sorry, yesterday's high is 540, the day before is 540. There was a slight break on, I guess that was Monday this week. I wasn't here, but it was a slight break of 540, rejected that as well. I'll pay for shorts just in case I want to go short here, but you get through this, maybe break a 550. This could really squeeze to the upside. It's only 6% right now, and I say only because for this stock, when it gets going, we've seen what happens on a bit of a squeeze. For now, it is rejecting the same price it did the last couple of days. I'd like to see it churn through that. And while I'm waiting around, while I got to go pay for the shorts, Coinbase has done it again. It goes right up 70.30, right back into 70 even. So as usual, it doesn't want to break this range. But the market doesn't want to either, so I'll stay inside the range on this. MMAT is very close to that dollar level. I am on the offer right in front of $1 to take one last fill, but if it breaks a buck, I'm getting out of that. But I got to see what it costs for the locates on Bed Bath & Beyond. Could be worth it.
I was just looking. I'm going long Bed Bath & Beyond through 540 right there. That's 540. This goes all the way back to the 7th. right there. So Friday, where 540 was the basement. And since then, we've come back up there earlier on today. Now we're right back at that level again. So I'm going to go long, but just like Neil said, we don't really know. Brendan's looking right now. It's just active. There's rumor of another bond offering and so on and so forth. So let's just wait to see. Okay, now another new position here for me as we wait for our meta to do something. We are now into Bed Bath & Beyond. So there's the tick in. It goes 3 cents for it, or not for us. It breaks 50, 40, and goes 3 cents. Now we can wait. I'm just going to give this back, honestly, to 30. My first out on this name will be 50, and then we'll go from there. So if this rips up to 50, we'll sit there and take a piece out, give ourselves only 10 cents back down. Sort of where this all started was 2025, but I don't want to be part of this if it's not going to go. Like, I'm not here to try to make, you know, I just want to get out 20% at 50 and then hold the rest for a huge upside move, because like I just said, I don't want to be in this name just to get taken out on the way down and then have to be like, oh, wow, there's no news. And then it just drafts back down to $5 here. And then we feel like, why did we do that? So here comes Bed Bath & Beyond. We'll wait to see if it does rip upside now, but I do have an offer to get out if it breaks back down below 530. So I did not pay for the shorts. Here it comes. See what I mean? Takes out that level. To me, this is 10 cents worth of risk. That's it. So I'm not trying to, you know, do anything ridiculous here. If it goes back up, fine. If not, this is 10 cents worth of risk here for me on Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm glad we talked about it because it's moving on decent volume. You can see right down here. I don't know if you can see, hold on a second. Right down here, the volume started to pick up there. And whenever that happens, you wonder, is there going to be a gamma squeeze? What's happening with the options? So on and so forth. So we'll hold out hope that maybe there's something coming, but we're pretty close now. We're halfway there to getting stopped out. 10 cents worth of a hit for me on Bed Bath & Beyond. It is what it is. And I don't really like that saying too much, but I don't want to take the risk on Bed Bath & Beyond. So
how did you, come on,
I'm going to be done right there.
You said we're halfway there, and I was like, he's going to say it, he's going to say it, he's going to say it. But are you,
Bon Jovi?
But are you living on a prayer is that's the only thing
I feel like I am living on a prayer holding
that
this.
was a layup, man. That was like the finger roll layup. It's an easy one.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you better damn believe I love that song.
I've seen Bon Jovi. I went to see Bon Jovi in New Jersey.
See, that's ridiculous.
So
that's what
ridiculous.
Ridic means ridiculous.
Right there, yeah. For all the home gamers there.
Good music. I had this conversation. I was telling I think Fahad this the other day. Like, good music is good music, and my litmus test for good music is when I'm doing the dishes. I like to play music. I put something on, and like, if my daughter jams to it, she's 5 years old, then it's good. Like, she loves Michael Jackson, she loves Queen, she loves Bon Jovi, but like I put like some
Baby Shark.
Okay, but she's a kid. But like, if I put on, I'm not gonna name any names, but like random garbage pop music that just happens to be, she's like, what is this? Turn it off, daddy. But if it's like a classic song, she just loves it. It's like that good music is good music, man. And if you don't like Bon Jovi, to each their own. I'm a firm believer that he's one of the best out there, to be sure. And our friend's a big fan. I've never seen him live.
Apparently I think I've seen him twice.
That's amazing.
He's getting, he's getting old. Those guys.
We're getting old.
Those guys are getting old. There, Bon Jovi. But yeah, shout out to Jersey and everybody that's in the. Let's roll Prad's beat. Speaking of good music here, I definitely want to hear some beats going through. I've talked to Prad. I want him to put a drop in that. Like, the beat has to go somewhere. That's the problem.
But this is what it reminds me of. If you ever seen the Dave Chappelle sketch with Fisticuff, turn my headphones up. That's the whole gag is that it never drops. And that's exactly what Brad has done. It's almost like he's trolling us. It's almost like NCLH is trolling everybody up 11% right now. There's the beat.
There we go. All we need to do is request it. Brad wants 30 cents every time this is played. I think maybe 35 cents.
If you actually drop something
like
here
right
that you can do something to,
like it
then
needs to
we
come
can.
In, or right coming up.
You don't pay somebody for nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Now, yeah. So if someone's watching this, if there's a producer out there, message us, man. Or I don't know, is it a producer? I don't know who could fix this.
So straight up,
I want to hear something like.
I got a message, Mike. So
bang!
My cousin was a hip hop producer.
All right, let's do that.
And I gotta talk to him. He's out of the game now, but if he gets back, he probably still has the studio there.
What is it? Is that an MP4 or 3 or what is it? Wave? What?
It's
a YouTube video. Okay, because if it's a YouTube video, then we can post a link and maybe someone can grab it.
Cool.
And then the drop. So
we can just put that on the Trade TV
That's what I'm thinking, and then someone can make this pretty hype over there. Just look over and Lucas
it's
is
not
just
hype
standing
now?
in the green screen. All right, let's try this. Let's hit that graphic then, Fahad. Let's go. There it is. There it is. There's the likes call right there. I was like, why is this dude standing? Give us a high five, Lucas. There we go. Good job. No, to the side, bro. To the side.
You got to do it like.
There we go. There.
Are you going to leave me hanging like that?
Other one as well. Right hand, Lucas. Right hand. There we go. All right. So our green screen getting a lot of work right now. That was pretty cool. I like that likes call there. Look, people love it, man. Wall Street Fighter, what's up, man?
He doesn't know what he was looking at. That's the
We
problem.
do need a beer animation. We used to have a beer animation, and it was Lucas.
Did we?
It was Lucas, I think, in the beer animation as well, if I am not correct there. And we did have there was a lot of trash talking going on during lunchtime about Fahad's ball skills there, and apparently not balling at all. So we're gonna wait. They're going again today.
I'll defend my boy for a second.
Okay, go ahead. I saw the highlights.
First of all, I might get stopped out on MMAT. You'll see.
I'm gonna get stopped out on BBBY.
I'm short 99s. It's trying to take out 01s. Yeah, I'm risking 2 cents on the trade, maybe 3 tops with some slippage. But Fahad is nursing some legit aches and pains and injuries, man. So. It is like I've seen. Like, trust me, the guy's been hurting, and the fact that he was even playing at a solid level, I think, speaks for itself.
Solid level.
I'll back him
I
up.
didn't hear anything about solid levels.
Greg was talking some smack. I'll back Fahad up when it comes to the basketball. Like I'll respect his game there. So I did just get stopped out on MMAT.
I just want to say something.
I was gonna hit this, but then it's gonna do that thing where it.
Because the thing is, you're just respecting his game based only on like what's come out of Fahad's mouth so far.
Look.
Because you didn't trust him with bowling, but for some reason you're trusting him with basketball.
There was a. Can I talk about the tournament you played in, Fahad? There was a tournament at Young Dundas Square.
Yeah.
It was an NBA. Forget the NBA player's name. Local guy. And so it was like D1 players. He was running with these cats.
So did you see the video of that?
Look, I didn't see the video.
Okay.
At some point, I trust. He's the guy. I work with the guy. Take it for his word. Why would you make that up? He dropped
the same way he made up that he was a rude bowler. I mean, the guy didn't even know how to hold the ball.
He said he never bowled before. He admitted to that. Look, if he wants to be lying to me, then he wants to lie to me.
That's
Fair
what I'm
enough,
wondering.
Man.
I'm wondering about
but
that.
But
as
Fahad,
well.
I trust the guy. We work with him every single day. He's a stand-up dude. You guys, you have no idea what he looks like because it's a secret. But trust me, I believe the dude. He said he dropped 20 a game in high school. That's pretty legit. I don't care the level you played at. But if if at any level you ran with some D1 boys and a couple of guys in the NBA, come on, man. Like so he's.
In our ear,
he's got a video he's going to drop of him beating Lucas 11-0. So, okay.
This is going to be great.
Beat me 11-0.
Tune in tomorrow. I think you guys are going to have an absolutely fantastic time.
We should just hit a chord at some point.
All right, let's
figure this out.
they did hit a chord, man. I saw the highlights last night. I saw the highlights on Fod's phone.
I didn't see any highlights.
I did. I mean, that's what I'm saying. All right, let's go on. We got to find some. We got to find some. They weren't highlights. Yeah, you got that, Rod. They weren't highlights. Okay, so let's just keep on going on this right now, guys. All right, Bed Bath & Beyond. We did take it downside. We'll slap a fail on that. That's my LFT right now. Other than that, we would have been at the highest spot all day. I think it's worth the risk. Anytime this gets going, I think it's worth the risk. So that's just for that.
If it makes you feel any better, I paid for the short, and this is me still offering at I'm still offering 539 here. Like it does a wick top through 40s, it reclaims 40s. I offer 39, I don't get 39, and it pulls back in. And the thing about a wick top, I wasn't willing to chase it and compromise on the price. I'll cancel it now, but like I wanted the 40 retrace to the downside. I was quick enough to pay for the short. I just obviously wasn't fast enough to get in. The market's starting to come back to the downside. All I got is NCLH and then this Coinbase, which still won't break VWAP because, why would you break VWAP when the market's going down? It's in the money, which is fine. NCLH, which is hella strong, by the way, as the market's rolling back in, it's just straight stone cold chilling in front of 13. I got 94 short a couple of times here. Have yet to get filled on the big because it hasn't even broken 90s. I guess it's still relatively strong, and it's the entire space. Like RCL, I could pull up CCL. RCL's up 11%. Look at this thing. I just hate chasing, I hate going long up here on anything. It's just, it gets to a level like that, and I'm always thinking risk to reward, go into the short side of the trade if the market wants to flush. But that's what I'm in right here for NCLH, and it won't even dip a tiny bit.
I mean, we're in the money now, 20 cents. So Meta's good, man. Meta's fine. It's not going down as much as the market. I mean, look at the market bleeding down here. Look at Meta trying to go. I feel like this has a good chance to get going to the downside. We're already short Meta. We talked about that. Maybe a 127.50 break here gets us to where we need to go for Meta. So 20 cents lower right now on Meta. It doesn't look like it's super crazy or anything like that. So I'm going to try to hold out hope that we can get a little bit of a better print here for Meta down to the downside. Brendan with something.
In an effort, guys, to have a better understanding of what's going on today, lithium miners, specifically downside in a big way. Here's a couple of them. LTHM, 5.7% to the downside. LAC is another one. Not as bad, but still 2.15 to the downside. On this note, apparently the U.S. reportedly considering a complete ban on Russian aluminum. So some of these miners getting hit on that today.
Yeah. I saw that before. AA, Alcoa ripping upside as well. Here's AA. I don't know what it's doing right now, but I did see a monster move upside there for Alcoa earlier. So yeah, there it is right there. Bang, right there on that news when it was first released. Boom, to the upside there. Then a drift right back, not even a drift, but move down, hover, rip. So right now you're trying to absorb this 50 period. Look at this. This is why I talk about the 50 period as being a trend changer, guys. You could see like just straight up, hasn't broken. So wait for Alcoa to possibly break this. I mean, it's at 40 right now and dancing around, but that would be 39.90. It's not that far away. You know, a little bit of a break there of that, and I think we can start to head back, and then you use that 40 as a high. Dangerous to do it when there's news about names, but you know what, guys? This Meta, like the market, look at this. The market just ticks up a little bit after dropping quite nicely, and then this is what Meta looks like. Like, okay, you know, the Meta doesn't even drop, and then a little tick up in the market, and it's right back to flat. So this trade definitely becoming suspect, in my opinion, here for Meta. I still want to try the 128 short, so I'll wait again into the 90s here to try to get something a little shorter there for Meta. Microsoft pulled back in. Google pulling back right now as well. Whoops. Google pulling back right now as well. There it is. Whoa. Zoomed in there. I pushed the wrong button, I guess. Pulling back, but still no real trades.
You gotta get Tesla. Like Tesla's
Anything
frustrating.
else you guys want to look at? I mean, Tesla, we missed
Tesla
it.
was great. That's the thing. It gave the pop. It just didn't quite get to 220. And that's the thing about waiting for your price. It got to 219, wick top there, and is heading lower. But as the market comes down, I kind of feel like I want something else, not just literally the strongest sector out there, short NCLH. I mean, it's in the money, but it's not really following through yet. Coin's kind of working, not breaking VWAP. Tesla feels like it's as good a place as any to go to. It's just a matter of whether I want to take it on the lower consolidation or up here at 19. That means taking two swings at it to the short side. And if the first one loses, you got to be able to jump back into the well if it does come and retest that 220. The market's rolling low. We're beneath that 3,600. So that's going to have to be a bit of a go zone for me. I want to try and grab Tesla in here. It's going to have to be this 218.50 area as the out. So I'll work into it off this level. And I got to handle a question here because Internet Enforcers in the chat asked, and he framed it this way, Sean. We're talking about Fahad. He goes, the real question is, can Fahad beat you at Street Fighter? And before you say anything, I already took this one. The answer is a resounding hell no. And I've never seen the guy play a video game, but he said he could beat Sean at pool. And we were out the other week. I don't even know how to answer it. It was just no. So when it comes to Street Fighter, no. And if he wants to take me in NBA Jam, no. It's just no. Not those things. I'm sure there's things out there that he could win at, but no. He's not that video game. I mean, pick something that maybe one of us hasn't played and are good at, and then you have a chance there, Fahad. But yeah, if you can answer the question, we can answer. We like to have a little bit of fun here as well. Hopefully Tesla, I almost, in some ways, like I feel like it has to be two swings because that was a good trade up there. It just didn't get to 220, but this isn't a bad consolidation. Could you see a VWAP retrace? Certainly. We're ticking to that 3,600 level on the futures, and it's like if we break down from here on the ES, you got 20 points to the low. The NASDAQ could go as well. And thank you very much for the super chat there. Playmaker out here. You guys can do Fahad like the home improvement neighbor Wilson.
Yeah, we did that.
And do the face side. We have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's seen his face last time I checked. Nobody knows.
No. Well, yeah, that's the whole. I mean, look, if I was throwing down as much smack as this guy would be, I wouldn't be showing my face either. But yeah, the thing is, I think
he's a good trash talker. I'll give him that.
That's the best
man.
part.
He's
I
a
mean,
good
I
trash
love the
talker.
guy.
Respect to that game.
There's no doubt about
He's like
that.
Larry Bird level trash talker.
He's a great trash talker. He's a great trash talker. But you got to, at some point, you got to deliver, right? So we're still waiting for that. Okay, AMD. I'm looking to short 58. I mean, I got to get short something. I'm going to try to play with that same logic again. AMD up. I mean, it's up today, but there is a short possibility here against that 58. We're below the 50 period right now, swooping down, curving down again here for AMD. So for me, you know, let's just see. We like look, we were shorting, got blown out. Fine. That was not that long ago. We could have re-engaged it, and if we did, then great. This is that move we were waiting for. It's still at these levels. I'm trying to get a short at 90. We're not that far away. Or if we break this 200 period, we're going to break 74 right now, and we are going to go short. We're looking for the short right now in AMD. Tried to get it at 90 because it'd be better than 75. But if we get that break, we're going to go short in AMD against 58. And if it takes 58, fine. I mean, I'm like, this is what I'm talking about with this market. It's way too whippy. It's not a great market to trade, to put on max positions in the middle like this. Like, will it go down? Maybe. Will it go back up? I mean, the futures right now starting to head to the downside. I think this is a calculated risk. AMD's been getting killed pretty much every single day. Let's see what happens here into the close again today as we bounce off these 59 levels. We're still a ways away. Like, if you have a larger sort of time frame for your AMD, then maybe you wait a little bit. I'm going to play it off 58. But meanwhile, let's go throwing down some cash again in Meta because Meta is now breaking. We said we needed that to happen. There's the break to the downside. It did break 50. Here we go. Look at the 200 period break right there on Meta. Downside, right into this. So let's hold this trade. Again, I'm happy with it. It's 50 cents in the money. If it continues to go down, we should get executed into our AMD trade. But this is right at, again, another level right there. All right, so actually, AMD just shorted us at 90. So we're here against that 58. But here we go, man. AMD right now just gave us that short, and Meta just bounced. So I like this out for Meta right here, 127.25. Let's take that. We'll put 50 cents in our pocket with Meta and hope that this AMD trade can work out for us.
Yeah, and sort of speaking about names that are moving, Bed Bath & Beyond just put in a lower high. So, look, it rejected that 540 break, lower high here at the 35 level. I want to try and work the short off of this and see if we can't work the lower level back. Because if it pulls back, and there was just rumors of a bond, was it a bond deal? I think that's what we saw. And it was, again, just rumors, possible bond deal, nothing concrete. So if there's nothing there, a pullback all the way to where it broke out from at 515 and VWAP does make a lot of sense to me. So I'll work off that lower high. I am in Tesla. NCLH doesn't seem to want to be doing anything. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to get, unless the market really flushes here, and that $13 level, it could just sit there in a 10-cent range all day long, which would be frustrating. But Apple, meanwhile, it's real close to that low. Remember I said I only wanted 138 on Apple? Well, guess what is at 138.40? So that low of the day was 138.25. I'm sitting in front of that by a little bit, like 10 cents or so, and I just want the long off of the bottom. So if we do get a bounce off these lows, at least I'll have exposure to something to the long side off an obvious support level. I mean, once 38's gone, I know what I'm doing, and that's getting the you-know-what out of Dodge. I am favoring the short trade. The only long I do have is APDN. That is a small cap that actually I'm sitting here at 76. It never even gave the fill. It's back into VWAP now. Got to give it one more chance to pop up. It has not been able to take 283, just got into Apple. Hasn't been able to take 283, so it looks like this could be done for the day. It's been giving you good long trades, just no follow through to that $3 level. But as I said, Apple 138, here we go.
All right, so let's go, man. We did dump our Meta. So we take 50 cents on Meta. We'll drop some profit on that. I'm going to take that all day, every day there. As very confused about what this market wants to do right now. So I am going to try to take, I did take advantage of that trade there on Meta. So out 50 cents in the money right there on Meta as it does take down 127. So we gave up 20 cents so far on that trade. I just didn't want to wait for it. It bounced off there. We saw that there was some bottoms comes right into here of 25s. I like to trade off even levels, and 25 is one of those. So, and meanwhile, though, we do also plant some more flowers here on AMD as we got the purple tulip down, 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 right back to the 200 period again, and just start taking them out right at this level. This is where, honestly, we're going to get short again anyways. So if I can just start to get out here in case this is the bottom without actually, you know, identifying any shorts, then I think that we can sort of do that. So there it is. We'll get out another piece at 75 if we can. Give me that fill. We're not filled yet at 75. We did get a fill at 7. There it goes. Just went through a couple levels. There it is. So now we are into the short. So now we got some shares on this name. Let's see how far down we go now as we've broken some of those levels. So downside move hopefully coming here for AMD. We do take that print. Now we're short at 75. You know, no reason to get out. Let's just wait to see if it takes back up to the upside 58. Then we can get out. That's sort of the target right there. That's 95. You can see the 50 period has moved down. We do execute a new short right now for AMD, and let's just see where we go. We took it at 90. I should have put the whole damn show right there on 90s, but we didn't do that. Now let's see if we get a downside move here for AMD.
Yeah, and we got the downside move in Tesla here. It did crack that 217. You're getting close to VWAP. And once you get to that 216 level, it's bounced off VWAP almost every single time this afternoon and is positive. It just turned, well, for a split second there, it just briefly turned into the red side, but it is flat now on the day. I think once it gets in the red, I think it could bounce off VWAP another time. I want to take the profit, make sure we get this trade out because, quite frankly, it wasn't the level we wanted. We didn't get more shares off that 18 level, so if it only wants to make the turn here, I have to respect that. The other thing, and I'll get to that in a second, is I'm long in Apple, is this is the ES. ES right here on the same support that we've been chilling at pretty much the entire day. And if we bounce off said support, and the last thing I want to have happen is you take what was like an easy winning trade and then don't get anything out of it. Like if Apple is going to bounce off of this bottom that it just put in at 2 o'clock when the minutes came out, and I'm looking for the scalp trade up that bottom, then we could have an inside day where we don't even break the lows. If that doesn't happen, I'll take the buck on Tesla, move on to the next trade. I'm still holding longs and shorts in Coinbase and NCLH, so if we do flush, I mean, Coinbase is still in the money, but I am looking for a bounce off of this support, both on Apple and in the futures here. So that's one reason to get out of Tesla, which I will rinse and repeat. Comes right back up to that same level, around 217.5, 218. I do want to short that level again.
Yeah, good job on Tesla, obviously. As we look to take out some of the cash there, Meta came right back up, and then, you know, we did get some out on AMD. I mean, AMD went to 66 there, 66 and 68. So, you know, it did make a downside move there. So we'll wait to see if there is more pressure. We're still waiting for 57.90. Let's check back in on Bed Bath & Beyond right now. Still hovering around, doing absolutely nothing. You guys, ES buy time? Yeah, okay. Let's just wait to see if you guys are going to be right on that one. If it is a buy on the ES, you could be right. You're back down to flat again. We do have CPI coming tomorrow, and we are going to be joining you guys at 8:25 tomorrow morning. So another exciting opportunity to come back here with Trader TV Live tomorrow morning at 8:30. I want to thank everybody for joining. Remember, hit the like. We had that cool little like thing with Lucas over there. He gone. So hit it again. Hit the like button one more time. Actually, don't hit it. If you've already hit it once, don't hit it again, because then you'll unlike it.
It just unlikes it.
You'll unlike it. But, okay, so looking at NEO, there's some talk there. I mean, yeah, I would love to get it back down into some of these levels again where we could sort of get some support to buy. NEO up on the day, same as the market. Nothing to be scared of with this one. Let's go over to Alibaba just real quick to see what's going on here. This, again, bouncing off some of those bottoms. So, yeah, this could be also 75.50. That's a decent bottom. I mean, the problem is I'm short AMD right now, looking to get short on the market. So I'm not really looking for any longs, but this is a pretty good spot here on Alibaba, bouncing off 75.50 a couple times. That very bottom, if you're nervous about that, that's 75.30. So there's a level there, there's a level here, and then there's another one. It's all the same level. It's 75.30, 75.40. So again, Alibaba, if there's a disaster coming, I don't think the market's going to make a huge move now. We might have just had the move right there. I think Alibaba could definitely take down that bottom if the market does continue to crack a little bit. But look what we did. We went right back. Like, this is the thing. Remember we talked about this, and this is why I said earlier on today at 11 o'clock or whatever that this market's not the greatest, and then I just said it again about a half hour ago. Like, you go back to the highs and do nothing, and then you just retrace back to basically the lows and do nothing again. So it's just like it's in between here. It's tough for guys like us, especially those of you that are scalping like we are today. to find those right plays. I mean, if you're going to use smaller shares and you want to just scalp it back and forth, fine, that's good. Or whatever share size you want. But I don't know if we're going to get like these hero moves like we did yesterday. Yesterday we had this major, this is this morning, but these are the kind of moves you're looking for. The only real clean, like that was a nice move up, but then you danced around and then eventually fell back down. And then, you know, there's not too many moves. There's one there, and then one right here, I guess. And this is kind of choppy on the way up. I'm just looking at the NASDAQ. So let's just continue with names that we think are at key levels. And I'm going to say 58 right here for AMD, pretty key. Let's see if we can't make a little move down here for the rest of the day. We're below the 50 period, which, long story short, is the reason why we're continuing to short AMD. Below the 50 period gives me cover to short this until we take it out.
Yeah, and speaking of take it out, looks like we couldn't take out 217, or not we. I mean, I'm not in the log on Tesla, but I did get out, and I'm thinking it's going to go back to 18, the lower high. It's not going anywhere. Apple went from the low out there that quarter, 138 quarter, goes up to 50s, hits like 48 or something, and then reverses. So it's an even tighter range. You're just not really breaking out here. So have to exercise at least a little bit of patience. Like, I'm not going to start chasing this move. I already chased this to 218 from 220, chasing it again to 217. It's like if the low doesn't break and you just keep shorting something like a Tesla, which is green on the day at a lower and lower price, it's just going to be worse for you if it comes to the upside, right? I'm already in one short that, you know, it won't go anywhere. The market pulled back in, NCLH. Excuse me. There it was. Couldn't even get my sneeze button because you moved it, Lucas, and now it's in a different spot. But anyways, it cannot break this 13 upside. It cannot break 1290 to the downside. However, I think it's inevitable. Like, if this is going to get through 13, and the reason I say that is Sean just said we went top to bottom in the range. NCLH just held the top. It's up 11.5%, almost 12% to the upside. The market pulls back in. Where are the people taking profit? That's the reason why I'm shorting it, is that you think there'll be some profit takers as the market breaks down. Not happening at all. So it's inevitable. Even to come back in, it probably has to run the stops at 13, and it can run my stop. I'm going to get out if it breaks 13 even. Maybe it just has to do that before there's any pullback in. But I'll allow it to break, get out through the top, lose my 7 or 8 cents, and then try to work. If I want to work back in, fair enough. Couldn't get past 50s on Apple. When it got back there, I took some out. Because if that's all it's going to do is sit in this tight of a range, then I might just have to play inside of it, at least until something does happen. I'll be patient with Tesla, but Apple, it is relatively weak here, down. As you can see, like 0.5%, while the market is pretty much exactly flat. Both the ES and the NASDAQ, less than 0.1%.
Thank God for Biden. I'll retire early. Well, congratulations, Chris H. If you are retiring early, that's pretty much everyone's dream. So good job on that one. Yeah, I definitely like that. All right, CCL, I don't know if you must have been short the market. I guess that's why you're saying congratulations to Biden. But all right, let's just go right now. Look at CCL is right here at the top. And I know Neil's talked about this a little bit, but I think you can break that top, $7.35. It looks like it's going to try to do that right now. We are net short. Well, we're only short AMD. We're looking to get more short, but this could be a good little take for the top side using the 30 to get out. I mean, this looks pretty easy to me. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a trade in. If we break through 35, which looks like it's going to happen right now, 736, all I need to do is see a 736 print, and we'll take a few shares long on this one as we'll go. So we'll put that order in, a little bit of a break higher. Look, it hasn't really broken this 50 period. I feel like we could break the top right now and then break that 50 period like we kind of did right there. We went as low as 28. So I'll do the math, man. I mean, if I take a 36 long and it doesn't work out and we get out at 28, you know, just make sure that we don't lose enough on that one to go. Normally, I'd be sitting here bidding 34, but it might be a short off of that as well. So there's kind of two ways to play this right now. I just don't know if we want to short something that's up 10%, but you know, that's not a horrible short either. Like, you could go short right now, just punch this, like, or just try to get 34s right now. And if you do get them, then you do have some runway back down to the downside, especially if this market does collapse here the rest of the day. I'm kind of convincing myself to do that right now.
Speaking of,
yeah, I don't know. It's not
CCL.
That's what I'm talking about. But I mean, we could go short against that 35.
Well, just to give you an idea what just happened. NCLH was at 13. I'm like, maybe it has to run the stops, and it'll run my stops. So it goes to 1301. Now, look, sometimes you want to see what happens when it breaks a level. Like, it didn't break and go to 1310 or 1325. It went to 1301 and then is right back at like 98. So if I see that happen, I'm jumping right back into the trade. Not 10 times out of 10, but I didn't even get everything there. I'll just add to it at 97 if I have to. So I got like 97 and a half. I guess it's going to round up to 98. It doesn't matter. I had 98s and 97s, 97 and a half. If it takes a fresh high, well, then I've lost 3 cents twice. But when it does that wick top, at least the thing that you got going for you is anybody that triggered into a long at 13 is kind of sitting in that long as the market trending to the downside here and maybe a little bit nervous. So I'll take a second swing at it, but I waited until it got to these levels to at least consider the short. It's been a long for the entire day for me on NCLH here. It's just the one I'm choosing. It's not the only one moving, by the way. I mean, RCL, CCL, CCL and NCLH are all pretty strong. I just found that NCLH was the highest. I think it's the highest percent on the day, but they're all pretty impressive here as a market, not moving too much, and we're still kind of barcoding. I did add to APDN. And I've moved my stop to 255 from 245 as it kind of barcodes off VWAP. So if you're watching APDN, it's now going sideways, but it just held VWAP, so I added a bit in front of it.
Yeah, I just looking. Okay, all right. Now we're starting to get spicy again. All right, so now we're into AMD. It's starting to get spicy, meaning like we just got in more shares. Now we're short. We just got that. Oops, that's the wrong chart. There it is, right here. So it just came back up to 90. So now we're short 78 on that. Let's see if it comes back down in. We were unable to break, right? We were unable to break some of those levels to the downside. We were lucky enough to get that. We're patient. We wait for that 50 period to come into play. It does again here on AMD, and it looks like CCL doesn't really want to break that 35. We're there in case it does. Now my concern just turns to this. The only position we have on, so hence why I'm looking at it. AMD right now, we just got the short at 90, right at that 50 period, and again, we're just trying to play tops and bottoms. So if we come back down to 75, even though I'm waiting a little bit lower than that, I'm waiting at 72, wouldn't surprise me if we do test that again. I don't know about down too much lower than that, but there we go. We're patient with it. We wait for that trade. Now we're short again back up here at 90. So let's see if that can come through now. Just to check back on CCL, nothing's happening. It's still at 735 and looking to go a little bit lower. All right, here comes the pull down for AMD. I am going to take a little bit out because we do have an upsized position. Not upsized, but we just got filled there. So if it takes out, if it takes out 58, I won't be happy. But that's what we got to do. So let's reward ourselves on a little bit of a move down. That way, if the move stops, at least we're there right now to that downside. So it just stopped right there at 78. Yuck. Hopefully, it will continue the move down here for AMD. Give me some negative news, Brendan.
Pinterest, guys, one that was in play a little bit earlier on in the week when we were talking a little bit more about social media stocks just popping up. Apparently heavy call volume right now on this one. Pins up 0.8 today, but a little bit of a pop up there.
So stock with potential and been buy rumors for a while has heavy call volume. Color me shocked and surprised.
Here goes AMD.
Look, I can't remember. Anytime there's a big deal where you have like rumor after rumor for a long time and the stock has been holding up on those rumors, you're going to have some people placing bets. And maybe they know something, maybe they don't. It always feels like somebody knows before something happens. But this stock, I've said this before, it needs to break out from this 26. And the day, like I have alerts, it's just like the second it gets to 26, I want to be alerted. And the day it breaks out, just take the darn thing to the upside and then take a shot at it. If it's a deal, it's a deal. But it has been tunneling and channeling for very long in Pinterest. I got another reload in Apple because waiting for it there. That's still the daily chart, but I got another reload and I have to zoom right in for you. 138 just got tested again. It bounced at 15. I took the bounce and I'm scalping it again. You're getting 20 to 30 pennies on every single one of these dips. At some point, 138 is likely to break. And if that happens, two things I hope to be true. One, I'm still in Coinbase. Hopefully I can get into some Tesla to the short side. But one thing I will not be in is NCLH, because I just took out the high of the day again. So in back at 97.5, out again as it breaks 01. I'm not taking a third shot at that one, but I am now back into some Tesla. So as Apple goes in the money, Tesla comes right back in, testing that lower high that we played earlier.
All right, yeah, we got stopped out on AMD, obviously. As you guys can probably see, the market is ripping right now to the upside. So here's my AMD out, just out on O's break. I mean, there's the O's break at 58, and there's the out. So it did start to scream upside a little bit now. And again, we just played the opposite theory there. We thought that the market had a chance to go down, so we build the flowers, short it, and then get out right there. So yeah, unfortunately, that was a hit for us on AMD. All good, though. You know, but we're not at the highest spot we've been at anymore. But we got some hope, though. We got some hope. There goes CCL taking out the top. We did wait for that move to come in. I am just going to respect this. And if I get stopped out breaking through 31, then, well, we'll just put a 30 out right now for CCL. So that's going to be $7.30 or so as a stop. We're going to try to hit that to the downside if it does break lower. I'm putting the order out right there for all the shares that we have. So upside for CCL, let's just see where we go. I feel like if you look at the 20-minute, you do have 50. So it looks like 50. We sort of stopped at the last couple times. Does CCL have like another 1.5% or 2% in it to get up to that level? I don't know if it does, but that's the market's going to tell us, right? So again, pretty much one-to-one risk to reward, maybe a little bit more than that in our favor. So let's take a little bit out if it gets to 40. Then that way, if we drop back down below 30, then at least, you know, we take a 6-cent hit, but we took something out for 4 cents. So that's kind of the play now for CCL. Let's see if it does make it a good idea or not. Meta short, I do like what you're talking about there. Shout out to John in the chat. Meta short at 128. That's the level that you're looking for sure. That's, I mean, good. You know, that was good. So, what? That's the wrong one. That was the props one. He knows. He knows. That's okay. Don't even worry about it.
No one knows it's wrong until, yeah.
Yeah, no one knows it's wrong until I say it. That's why
I just thought you meant to hit that.
Not a big deal. But we will wait on for that. Yeah, so that was a good trade. And there you go. I think you guys are right. 128 there on Meta definitely looks like an interesting area to go short in the market as well. So AMD, I just don't know. Like, do we even want to play around with this market? Look, upside, downside, now in the middle. It's 320. Like, I love to put a trade on, but at the same time, part of trading is not throwing away money that you've already made. So I'm already in the money here. I already have a trade long in CCL. If Tesla gets back up there, you sort of know my idea. It's not getting there at all. Here's Tesla right now. It's still down to 217. Just so silly because when it was at 219, I was putting in orders for like 219.40 and 50 against that wick. And then as we were talking, it just did this, and we didn't have anything on board. So again, kind of sucky right there. Yeah, what's up, Beat Fanatic? I guess 100%. Yeah, you know, you're right there. I think that you got to be a little smarter. Is that a brain? I think so. Yeah, so I think that's right. We don't need to throw out money right now just because we're sitting here in front of a screen. So, you know, trying to be a little bit disciplined here and save the money for tomorrow. Like, if I'm going to get blown out on something right now, I'd be pissed.
8:30 tomorrow is
exactly. No, but even then,
well,
though, I don't think
it doesn't have to be 8:30.
Yeah,
I shouldn't
we're not
say
going to
that.
go ham on
just tomorrow in general. Tomorrow in general. We came into today expecting that this would not be the bigger moving day. I think that's what everybody was expecting. And there's been some opportunities. No question there's been opportunities. I'm just expecting a little bit more. And that's why, look, you can size down, you can have tighter stops. Like I said, I chased Tesla 2 levels, and I'll play the second level. But if it breaks this range here, then I'm just going to get out because 220 was the real trade. And it's only giving you $1 scalp anyways. And Apple, I waited all day for 138 and only made the one trade. Well, I got to reload here in front of it again, but waited all day for one trade essentially on Apple. So we got it finally, but there hasn't been a heck of a lot else. APDN, however, is moving. And another one, Brendo. Ooh, tell me we forgot about this.
Yeah, just popping up on volume again. This one from this morning. Hempaco. I love that name. HPCO. Trying to get back to the upside here. Some volume coming in.
El Pollo Loco or Hermanos.
That's
Romano. What was the one for Breaking Bad?
Los Pollos Hermanos.
As you can see here, we do not speak Spanish at all right now. We're supposed to be able to speak French. Actually, I just found out. So I went to my kid's curriculum last night, and apparently he's kicking butt in French.
Nice.
So pretty happy with that one.
You know me in French.
His mother speaks French fluently. So shout out to my wife there. So
my grades were
I know you're
great.
going to Paris. When we were there, it's nice. Yours doesn't speak French.
Actually, so Rebecca does. Like, she actually She doesn't speak it fluently,
Yeah,
but
you
her
don't
French
really
is like
need to.
way better than mine. Like
Oh, wow. Yeah, I
she
hope
can
so.
hold her own, whereas I'm the bad Canadian. Like you have to, you go to high school and you have to take French up until grade 9. So you start in like
It's the
grade
same in the
4,
States.
and then it's like you get to grade 9. You have to have it for those 5 years. I forgot everything, but you know, hey man, my 86 in grade 9 French speaks for itself, and I can't speak a lick of it. Anyways, I can read a little bit, but that's about it. I didn't want to come to this APDN because it bounced off VWAP. I just need to get, again, you have to take this out in front of 275 because it doesn't want to go any higher. So I'm just going to be out. If it gets to 75, fair enough. The bounce play is all you can get. It doesn't want to break out of those tops. I've been trying to respect it every single chance we get. Tesla, the old rinse and repeat, it's right back to these levels. So if it's all you can do, sometimes it ain't about hitting one of those. You just got to hit the singles and doubles when they're there. Last I checked, Wade Boggs and Ichiro are both in the Hall of Fame. And yes, I should probably include Tony Gwynn. I'm a baseball fan, so I like to.
Not yet.
He's not. He's in the Hall.
Oh, he's gonna
Is
get
he not
there.
in the Hall yet? I mean,
Don't
he's
you have
not.
to wait 5 years?
You do. Is he retired 5 years?
No.
Anyways, the dude's going to the Hall of
What
Fame.
if he was
If
still
he's not
playing?
in it already, then
Oh, well,
the dude's
that's,
getting in there.
that's a wrap.
Point being,
That's a wrap.
you got to give those guys some love too. It's not all about the bombs. These guys get on base. I was a leadoff hitter in my day, so I have a lot of respect for the people that do the little things at the top of the lineup, so everybody else can get that glory. But if that's coming down and retesting that range, and I mean Tesla, then Apple's making a curl as well. And I did attempt to get rid of this wick. It just keeps on coming back like that. I don't know. The cat came back the very next day. This wick to 145 just keeps coming back. I don't know how many times I want to go to the well at 138. I'll give it a third look off the 138 level, but it can't seem to break 138.50 with any gusto. It did get up to 55.60. I was able to get another leg out there, but that's pretty much it. I'll offer some in the 75 range. This is less than $1 bounce that you're getting because it hasn't even touched 138. That's the kind of market we're sitting in here. It's not really giving you a heck of a lot. Coinbase, as the market grinded down, like I didn't get a refill on Coinbase, so I can probably get rid of these until it comes back up. It breaks 70. It's like now we're going to flush, and this chart doesn't want to load in. Now we're going to flush. Cannot break 69.75. So no momentum here to have it follow through. I can't look at that chart. I'll go over to the 15-minute. This is what I mean. Look at this channel. It's a 60 to 70 cent channel with no breakdown. So maybe it's going to take the imbalances coming out here, like that final 30 minutes, to really get some follow through. But at some point, it's not going to be worth it until we see a real breakout. I don't want to reload this another time on Coinbase, this tight to imbalances. I'll hold on to Apple, give it a shot. I'll scalp out of Tesla. But Coinbase, what I have is going to be it until probably 350. And then APDN, maybe this is going to break out tomorrow through that high of the day. But, we had the 50 earlier. We just took the 60s here. Flowered it out. I think we're going to be done with this one for the day. Volume starting to die down. Bed Bath & Beyond, remember I said I wanted to short the lower high? Well, it did the same damn thing that it did at 540, where the second I get on the offer, and I'll zoom back here, I got in 39 on the way back down. I then tried to short it here in the 30s on the way back down, and whatever. It's now back at VWAP, so I wasn't aggressive enough chasing it. The one stock that was actually moving, and it was a lack of regression, that I don't get into it either time. But I did pay for the locates. It was worth it. I think that failure was there, but it has to make sense from a risk to reward. If I chase it down to 530 on the initial move, my stop's back up here at 45 or 50. That doesn't make any sense risk to reward. That's crap. If I chase the move down here, the lower high, down to 525, then I'm risking 10 cents to make 10 cents, which I don't love either. In an upward trending stock, it's up 3%. So at some point, there's a price you're not willing to pay for anything, whether it's a product or whether it's a stock on a trade. Hopefully Apple makes a break here, because if we're not going down, we darn sure better at least go up in something.
I'm surprised. Apple, this is why I question all these upgrades and downgrades all the time. I mean, we were really excited about Apple today on that JP Morgan upgrade, and then all of a sudden it's down 0.4 and the market's up 0.27. So you tell me what's up with that upgrade. Is JP Morgan selling? That's what I said. I said that. I was like, are they expecting a good quarter? We didn't hear too much about good quarters coming from Apple. And the next thing you know, JP Morgan is sitting there slapping on these buys, gets it going, and then right now you see where it's going. All right, so look, man, I'm used to excitement here. You guys see the trades that I put on, man. Apple, AMD, Bed Bath & Beyond, Google, Coinbase today. How about that Intel trade, by the way? We'll go over that in a minute. When we had the very bottom of the day for Intel and then ripped it up. And again, another one of the names from the sticky note. If I just only did sticky note stuff, we'd be in a different story. But right now, CCL, just getting bored of it, man. Unfortunately, I took out about 30% right now. Some 38s, and then we got a 39 tick. Other than that, I'm waiting for 40. This is like worse than letting paint dry, so I'm getting a little bit anxious with it. I've changed my stop now. If we break back, well, I didn't yet. I'm going to do it right now as I talk about it. I'm just going to get out if we break this, man. Like, I'm done with this thing. Breaking through 34. So my stop's going to go at 733. We'll put that out right now. And if it breaks lower, then we're going to get out of CCL. So just making sure that we have the right amount of shares. And that's that. We did start a trade. I do like that idea that you guys were talking about there in the chat on a short for Meta against that 128. I mean, I want to get more short. What? Why didn't I get more short up there? Where am I waiting? I'm waiting at 97. I went to 95. What? My bad. We should have got that short there in Meta at 95. That would have been great right now, because now our net would be skyrocketing. But right now, we'll just take it. It's down in the money now, 10 cents, 15 cents. I do have a bid right here at 50, just ahead of this. So if it does come down, let's get a piece out there for 20 cents, and then we'll work on it from there, because I think just like what Neil was doing on Tesla and trying to scalp right now, taking what the market gives you, that seems to be the right decision heading into the close. We're only 20 minutes away from the market on close and balances, and we'll bring that to you live. It's just right here. We're going to get rid of ARCA. There's no point in seeing the NYSE American. Most of those names like CEI or some of the other ones, the ETFs and whatnot, are over. Did we just get that fill? Yes, we did. So there's our fill for Meta. Oops. Oh, no. There we go. This is just like Excel spreadsheets here. You move those over and around. There it is. So we get that fill on Meta there for the 20 cents. So we'll go like this. Bang. Okay, the bang one works right there. So we'll get that one going, and that's a good trade for us. So in there, out there. We're still in it, but we'll take a piece out. We actually took out half of what we had. I'm sort of with everybody on this. Like, let's scalp this market instead of waiting for some sort of a hero move. I know that's what you're doing.
Well, that's what I'm sitting there.
Nothing else makes sense.
The only thing I'm left in is Coinbase, where I am. I'm looking for a hero move. I think if we break the lows, I think Coinbase flushes. It can't hold. It's starting not to hold VWAP. But the better trade has been scalping Tesla twice. Apple, which I scalped at again. So Apple goes to 138.75. What do you think happens? It just abjectly rejects that price. So I get out. That's me getting out. And it's headed right back into the low. So I'll go a third time in front of 138 bottom. And if it gets there, I'm long. And if it doesn't get there, I'm not making the trade. There's no point fighting it. And what I love about it, Playmaker in here talking trash. He's like, what ball team did you play for, Neil? The Bad News Bears? I'm like, nah, just a men's league. It's nothing crazy. I'm not that great a ball player. But there's a great question in here. Big Spark. Big Spark. Great name, by the way, in the chat. Big Spark. Where do we learn to trade like these guys? So hopefully, and I'm being dead serious about this, everyone has to trade their own style, but the whole point of this is to be able to understand in the head of traders like us, and if we're not communicating that to us, then I don't think we're doing justice to what we're trying to accomplish here. I'm basically trying to explain what I'm looking for in Apple off that level. I want to make sure I'm getting a one-to-one risk to reward on these scalp trades. Each time it tests lower, I want to get a better price, because eventually I think it tests and hits that 138. If it breaks lower, that's where my out's going to be. So each time it retests, I don't want to be getting the long at 138.35, then 138.35. No, 138.35, then 21s on the next bounce. The next time I get the long, it's probably going to be at 11s. And if 138 breaks, I'm out of it. It's a scalp trade, meaning I'm expecting my duration to be short. That's the idea. There are other styles of trades out there. I'm sitting here, and this I have to do my 15-minute for Coinbase. I'm sitting in the Coinbase where I've scalped it, but the fact that the market tried to test the highs and then it just didn't budge on the lower high and is red, I just feel like if it breaks this bottom, we should be heading to the lows. And again, it's a bit of a home run style trade, but I've done the scalp trade here. If we break 69.50, I think there's an extra $1, but we're running out of time for that to happen, because I check, it's past 3:30. It's a 295 sell imbalance, the early look that we just got. I think that's what we got from Financial Juice. But that's not a heck of a lot. It's a small imbalance to the sell side. We have an inside day, and quite frankly, CPI is tomorrow. It was a nothing burger from the Fed minutes. So everyone's waiting around for CPI, and that means I'm trying not to overtrade. Like I was in 4 or 5 positions and just gradually less as time has gone on here because I was looking for moves. There's no question about that. They just didn't really happen. There's scalp trades and scalp trades only. So Tesla worked, Apple worked, NCLH didn't work, and the sort of the problem with this, and the other problem is I always type NASDAQ, thinking it's on the NASDAQ, is I was just sitting in the long all day long here, and then it got to 13 and I covered it. The high is 1304. So if I just stayed in the long, it just would have ground, can I say ground higher?
Yep.
Grinded higher. I'm not even sure the right way to say that. It would have gone another 10 cents in the money. So what I should have done, and we're trying to learn here, when I was sitting in this long from like 11:30 and holding on to it, instead of just getting out in front of 13, I could have just sat in it, slapped a trailing stop, any retracement of like 15 cents or greater, I could have just got out, and I would still be sitting in that long and just a little bit deeper in the money. That probably is a better way to have played this. But I kept thinking the market was going to come in, so I was looking for shorts at resistance. The market doesn't want to break the lows. That's just the reality here, and that's why I got only one position left. Brendo?
ByteDance, guys. TikTok parent apparently expanding their music streaming service. So this is happening to Spot right now. Big move down here for Spotify.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. Neil was going on.
Just interrupt me next time.
No, that's okay. I mean, I was waiting for Brendan to come through with it. Anyways, we did get. Oh, wait a second. Our Meta. Why did we not get punched out? So we are now short here. Off. Oh no, sorry, we're waiting a little bit higher for that out on Meta. Sorry. We are. Oops. That's okay. I went to Warner Music here as well. Look at this move to the upside here for Warner Music.
That's a good value stock.
The other way. So upside for Warner Music as ByteDance looking to buy some labels and whatnot, or I guess it's not buy labels. Looking to, if you're going to make a streaming service, you're going to have to pay the labels to throw out the songs, right? To stream the songs. So that would make sense there for WMG. But just quickly here, we are now short against 120. I'm just going to go 128.20 on Meta. So it does come back up, which is very patient. Good thing we took out half right there for 30 cents or 20 cents. Now we're going back up to the upside. I'm just trying to give it to here, like 128.20, where we got out right there. So we'll give Meta a little bit of breathing room here as we get ready to close this market out and go over to there to Brendo, who's always working. What's up, Brendan?
Warner Music Group also going on this. Obviously some relation here, but WMG, not one we look at terribly often, but this is Warner Music Group.
Yeah. Brendan was a little too busy. That's what we were just talking about there. We just mentioned Warner. I think that's a very good point there. I was looking at it, Warner Music. I don't know much about the trade. It's 800,000 shares. So, starting to pick up right now, including just a couple. I mean, it did about a quarter of the volume on the day on that move. So nice move up for WMG. And again, just watch out. I don't think you want to trade this name, but maybe buy some options or something like that. If the streaming wars start heating up, obviously, like I was just saying, labels could make a little bit of money there. So you can look at 10-cent music and things like that as well.
Prad stock must be going through the roof then.
Yeah. I mean, that's the next part, right? Like maybe they pay Prad to make some beats for them. I don't know. We are getting ready here. Remember, Meta right now, 128. It's the only position I'm in. We're playing the ranges again. We got out for 20 cents. It ripped back up. We took another fill. Now we're sitting here at 128 against 128.20. It's not a horrible size position for me, not a maximum one, nothing like that. Let's just wait to see what we can do here on this. Wouldn't be surprised if we do get stopped out and break that, but I also, at the same tone, wouldn't be surprised if we come back down here to VWAP. So let's wait to see. It just went down to, I don't know if it went down to 80 or not, but we're going to put some bids out to capture some profit if and when it comes back in here. That's Meta.
And just a quick look here, you're going to see me in Spotify, and whenever there's news like this, it does that kind of move. There's two things I'll look for, and I don't mind going over to every single time. I'll repeat myself. It doesn't really matter. When you get a big wick to the downside, I'm always asking myself, where is it going to bounce? You had a double bottom at 80.5. It wicked, couldn't break 80. That would have been the long trade, but I didn't get the long. Obviously, I didn't get the long trade. That would have been the long trade, sort of on the way back up 80.50 with an 80 stop, or somewhere between 80 and 80.50 when it bounces off that 80 level. When that doesn't happen and it makes the retracement, where do we curl? We curl at 82.5, lower high here at about 82.25. I'm short the 82.25 with the stop at the half, and then trying to fill in this gap to 81. So it's a pretty, it's just like a structured style trade where I'm looking for the risk to reward inside of the range. If it breaks out that first resistance, then you give it up. Like, I know where I'm wrong. I just tried to get, because I didn't get everything in, I tried to get more shares at that 20 level, but maybe I'll just chase it a tiny little bit, 10 cents more. But it's a pretty structured trade. I'm not really thinking it's going to break that 80 low, but I don't need it to break the 80 low in that particular case. But you mentioned Warner. That's actually not a bad, you know, you could play that the other way, Warner. Like if you're looking for like the dip buy in the stronger stock would be the other way to play it. We were looking at some Tesla earlier. It's about 340. I don't know. I was talking about these levels before on Tesla. As this does load up, I was shorting this. I'm not going back a third time as we are getting a little bit late in the day. Now going to work with Spotify. And I'm still holding on to Coinbase, but it doesn't feel like it wants to follow through. Maybe I'll be regretting the fact that I'm not going to this exact same trade a third time. It just feels like the market has bounced off this 3,600 on the ES. It's bouncing off the lows just another time. And if it retests the highs, well, then that Tesla level is getting blown out, and we should see that 220, which might give us one last opportunity in Tesla. So I'm not really wanting to go back to the well here. If it works, it works. Getting a little bit late in the day to try that scalp trade again.
Yeah, I'm not like overly excited right now. I mean, we are into that meta trade. I'm just getting locked and loaded for tomorrow, honestly. I mean, just trying to like preserve a little bit of capital. If we're able to get this to go, if the market goes to the downside right now, then we do have meta. So I like it. Obviously, meta's weak against the market today, just like Apple. So, you know, we're short. Well, oh yeah, we took another short at 10 there, but it's the same price. You can see where our price is. We're short at 128. It's 20 cents worth of risk. I'm literally bidding down here in 80s. So it looks like we're going to get stopped out. A little take through 128.20 is going to be our top right there. And if we lose that 20 cents on this name, that's fine. We're up on Meta. Meta is my #1 stock today. So just to review some of the other trades that we had, we were just long early. Like we were long, like look, long again here. Long there. That sucks, man. Just taken out just before Fed minutes right there. So that part kind of sucks. And then now we're trying to get short again on Meta. So we are, I mean, not trying to, we are short. Right into here, right against this level here, 20. Just trying to pick it. I don't want to hold it all the way to 129. Nope, we're not out that. Oh, we almost got hit out there on it, but we didn't. So, all right, Meta just tried to test again 128 flat. So, 128.20. I don't know, man. I just want to wait for it. Either it prints me or it doesn't. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's kind of like what I'm waiting.
That's how it is, man.
Yeah, that is how it is. So we're going to wait. I'm going to be patient. I do have my lower bids. Try to capture that 20 cents one way. If it happens to go the other way, then we're going to get stopped out. Unfortunately, that's the only trade I have. It's 340 right now. I do not want to put more into risk. We did get out of our CCL. So just if you guys are wondering, like, hey, stop talking about CCL. Yeah. You know why? Like, look at this. I mean, CCL is not doing anything.
It's like
it's like the same one, NCLH and RCL, all that stuff that you guys had. You got to play these things early and often, and we didn't do it today, so it's a hard pass. I said we would talk about Intel, which could have been the trade of the day again. We had this bid right down there. We were long a decent amount of shares at 24.75. My best out is right here, 25.30. So that's a nice little win for us. It does go all the way to the upside. We indicated it right here on our sticky note why we liked it. Cost cutting for Intel, going through that. It sucks. Like, I don't want people to lose jobs. Obviously, none of us do. But, you know, if Intel's going to cut some costs, hopefully they do that, and it's not as bad for people. But they said they're cutting, I don't know what it was, 1,300 or something employees. So, you know, saving some costs there. I thought that was enough to push it to the upside. It looks like that is true. But again, man, Intel, nice day for it, up 1.68%. This is a name that maybe we can get off the bottom for Intel. So just watch out. We're trying to get some levels, 25.50 tomorrow, 26 coming. I don't know.
Stink bids galore.
I know you like Intel.
Well,
I bought some too. So
I did get I got a stink bid, but it was look, it went right through 25. So I was stink bidding it for a while at that 25 level, just in front of it. So I did grab a stink bid. Stink bid just means it was at like 30 when I put the bid in there, or like 32 or whatever it was at. But that's all I mean.
Nowadays are like accurate bids.
I know it's like it's crazy because that's what happens.
AMD's never going to get to $60,
and then all of a sudden you're right there.
Yeah,
and guess what just happened? The one trade that was moving and was looking fantastic, it's like, I'll add to the Spotify because it's holding that 82.5 level. Well, I got some out there, it hit that 81.80, I was able to get some out. Now you're running that resistance. So even this, which was moving and did give me that setup, it's a defined trade. My hands are off the keyboard here. Well, except to do this to show you where it's about to break. You get past this level, and I just gotta respect it and get out, and there it goes. So whatever. Even Spotify, I guess the long was better off of that bottom, but I'll take that trade usually 9 times out of 10 if there's enough volume to it and not a heck of a lot is moving. So I'm now just back down to Coinbase, which still doesn't want to break resistance or support. So it's in the money, but it doesn't want to go more than 50 or 60 cents. And we did get a question that I do want to address here because we have about 5-6 minutes to the imbalances. I think someone was asking about if it was take two and a reverse split. 50 to 1. So take two, I didn't even realize it was down this low, but it's a 5-cent stock, right? So if you trade.
What?
Right. TTOO here.
Is that take two?
Oh, it's no, it's not take two.
No, it's like Tata.
No, it's Tata. I always get that one messed up.
Tata's a huge
T2
motor.
Biosystems.
Yeah,
Anyways, but take two is
good.
take two is the buyout. Take two was a buyout. That's why it's in my head. I do bio trading on the side. But it's 5 cents. So if you're below $1, you do have to regain compliance with the whatever. This is on the NASDAQ, right? And get above that dollar trading. And one way of doing that is to simply do a reverse split. Nothing fundamentally changes in the stock at all. All you're doing is just decreasing the amount of shares that are out there when you do a reverse split. So we'll just trade it 50 times, get above the $2. In a lot of ways, it's kind of bearish. The bullish part is that it gets to remain listed on the index, so it doesn't get delisted or moved down to another trading system. But at the end of the day, nothing fundamentally changed. I tend to think it's a bit of a bearish sign because to be in that point is never a good thing. It's not a good-looking chart. A lot of times you might get initial pump the day it happens. I got to check the date of when it's going to be effective. You might get initial pump to the upside in the pre-market or maybe even at the open. A lot of times those just get faded right back in. So as far as if you own shares of the stock, you'll probably take a day or two to see it reflected in your account, but that's all that it's going to be. Nothing fundamental has changed. And if anything, I usually consider it a bit bearish because if it's happening to you, it's happening for a reason.
Yeah, it's big time bearish, I would say as well. Every time we've seen things reverse split and stuff like MindMed reverse split and went into nightmare mode.
Yeah, but you sometimes I've felt that. Then you get you might get stopped out trying to short it in the pre-market the day it happens.
Oh yeah.
Because people see a gap
or
they try to.
Event.
Yeah, people try to push it up when it's looking like it's gapped up. So sometimes it tries to go through, but usually it's a short.
Not great for the long term in the stock, I wouldn't think. All right, I want to say what's up to Hayes Records, and I even said it in the chat. What's up, my man? I think that's right, man. Diamond says more red, like he was basically saying recession coming, and then all of a sudden, and look, he's not in charge of upgrades or downgrades, and then they increase the Apple price target. Does seem a little fishy. Well, hey, welcome Hayes Records to the market. Like I said, man, that's what I said. JP Morgan, probably upgraded it just to get short. So, I don't know. I don't know that to be a fact.
Well,
that
could be trimming longs. They don't have to be shorting the stock, right?
Yeah, exactly. They could just be getting out of their long. They could be doing whatever they want. Hence, JP Morgan. But all right, just so you guys know, we were bidding 92. It went to 92. We did not get filled, but we did get a 95 print on Meta. Very, very small out. Not that many shares out there on Meta. We're still holding for that bottom. We could get taken out at one. We only have 4 minutes now until the imbalances. I said I would not hold shares into an imbalance again because of yesterday. Apple tanked yesterday off the imbalance. Not that I think I'm not worried about the position long versus short, but yeah, it doesn't make much sense for me to sit here in that trade. But we still have 4 minutes to go, so let's see what happens with Meta. We still.
Brennan's saying his is back. So if you guys can hear us, then fair enough. We are getting 2 minutes till the imbalances, so we'll just try to keep carrying on here, assuming that you guys can hear us. Now it seems like we're back. Looks like we're back here. So, yep. This is live, and it's going to happen to you. Anytime you see if it starts buffering or something like that, the best thing you can do is just to hit that refresh. Usually comes right back in there. That's what happens.
Fail.
Yeah, slap the fail on that bad
Slapping
boy.
the fail on YouTube and slapping the bang on the meta trade. So right now, yeah, kind of just joking, but not really. Thank you for staying with us here, guys.
Yeah.
We can't control the external sources. I can even see on mine right now, very, 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 very choppy.
They're trying to hold us down, man.
Right now they can't, but they can't. They can't hold me down.
Got to keep,
Exactly, yeah, we got to keep on moving on that one. So, all right, there goes Meta nicely down to the downside right there. We take our 20 cents as it hits 80, 82, 83. So take it out there on Meta, actually a little bit better than 20 cents. So let's see if it can continue to the downside as we have imbalances coming out pretty soon. I just got a Tesla long that I don't want. What's up, Brennan?
I got to cancel this.
Just seeing a move downside in Twitter, guys. Business Insider reporting one of the investors that agreed to back Elon's Twitter bid decided they want out of the deal. But I can't see which one it is because, hey, it's behind a paywall for me. So Business Insider saying investors want out of the deal.
We're not behind a paywall. We're free. F-R-E, free. All we ever do is, like we say, hit that like button. In 30 seconds, we'll get the imbalances. But someone in the chat figured it out before I did. See, you had to go and make that comment about JPM and the downgrade of Apple, or the upgrade of Apple before, and they tried to shut us down.
Yeah, maybe you're right about that.
The timing of that was oddly suspicious. Just like, what are the odds, right? It's like, you know when you get paranoid, like you're talking about a product, and all of a sudden it's like you see ads for it. Now I'm getting, like, the timing of that was a little bit suspicious. I know you guys were talking about it in the chat. Imbalance is about to come in. I have a stop on my Coinbase in case. We got AT&T, $2 million to sell. Pfizer, $7 million to sell. Not a heck of a lot. The big names aren't really there. Amazon, $500,000 to sell. Looks like it's sell side. We'll see. Overall, it feels like it's sell side. We're heading to the downside. I'm just holding on to my short, but none of the big names are really in here. Just Amazon for 500,000 shares. I know you're in meta, but the market is moving to the downside. Sell imbalances did come in. 1.6 to sell.
Finally. 1.6 billion to sell right there to catch some cash. We did go long on Tesla. Tesla just came into a level that, again, it came into the 200 period right there. I put some bids there thinking that we'd get short. But that's not even why I put them. I put them because we were bouncing off, not bouncing off, but look at these bottoms here for Tesla. The news came in there about Twitter, and we just got it from Brendan. So whether or not that sinks Tesla shares or not now, we've already gotten out. So a nice little win there for us on Tesla. Let's see if it can hold. I'm waiting at 217 now to see if we can take 50 cents on this move to the upside. If it does happen, then we will get that. I'm actually at 90 right now. So let's see if it hits 90. It just went to 89. There's 90. Yes, sir. And there it is one more time. So the bull's kicking on this one, but not on this one. Good out for me on Meta. We'll put another bid right here, get out at 76. Now we're just cruising on Meta. We can basically cancel everything everywhere. We're not going to get stopped out on anything right now. Meta, nice move, man. Boom, to the downside. Got out on VWAP. We're going to hold the rest. I have a small piece. We'll hold the rest for the end of the day. So we're going to finish the day at the top of our market for us, at the top of the day for me. So good trade right there. Good trade for Tesla. As it bounces off of that 200 period, this is what we were doing. Waiting up here to get short, waiting down here to get long. So, it definitely paid out. New strategies right now for the closing show. Wait at extreme tops and bottoms and hope to get filled. But there's a nice move up. I'm going to put an offer right here at 217.50. Get the rest out here on Tesla to end what is actually a pretty profitable closing show for me. So far, so good here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like, man. It's only Wednesday. It's hump day. Hit that. Yeah, keep confusing the days.
Hump day, baby.
Hump day today. I got karate and gymnastics tonight and CPI tomorrow.
Oh, you know what I got? It's open house at my daughter's school.
Yeah, that was what it was yesterday at mine.
Oh, that's what you guys had? Okay, so I'm excited for it. You get to go in and see the class. She's really excited to show off all of, toys, a class in which we don't get to see there. Obviously, I've met her teachers, but it's just a heck of a lot of fun. Like, my daughter's in kindergarten, so it's not like I've been doing this for a long time. So you can see the smile on my face. I should have just taken Tesla the third time. Look at Tesla at the end of the day. What other trade was there outside of the 17.5 short into 16.5? You could have gone both directions. It's crazy. And then Coinbase, which I'm going to have to get out. Even with the sell imbalance, really Coinbase is just kind of sitting right here at the top, trying to break out that 40. So it's at the money. You know what? I'm not even waiting for it to get the other 10 cents. I might just pop on the bid here and take it out, because if it wants to grind higher on a sell imbalance, then I have to be able to respect that. Even Tesla bouncing all the way back into the upside. There was nothing of significance on the imbalance locator, over $1 million outside of AT&T. And if you've ever seen AT&T, you know it's 39 million and barely moves. So a 2 million imbalance on AT&T is probably not going to budget when it chews through that, no problem. It's not a significant amount for that particular stock. I wanted to see one of the big names be over $1 million. But at least, Meta came in for you there. I'm kind of happy to see that, because Coinbase, I was sitting in that short, market went sell imbalance, and I had to get out flat. That kind of speaks to the afternoon. I shouldn't complain about it, because Apple was good and Tesla was good, and probably could have just gone back to the well on Apple, but it didn't get to 138. And we talk about being patient. It never bounced off 138. So yes, there was a bit of a bounce that you could have played a third time, but it wasn't at the level that I was trading off of, which is 138. And if we get it tomorrow, we'll try again on that same price. It's a key price for a reason.
1.2K likes. Okay, we'll take that. I was going to say that's real super low. Like 1.2K likes, man. I thought you guys liked us. Now we're offended. All right, Tesla right there. Yes, sir. Let's go, man. The money bags come in on that one. And again, just respect the bottoms, respect the tops, right? It goes right back up to the top. There's the take right there. The problem is it came out when those imbalances came out, so it was a little bit nerve-wracking. And then we got, like, as soon as I get the long, we break to Brendan, and he has Elon Musk news. So, you know, that's tough when you're holding on to Twitter or Tesla stock.
Twitter moved too.
And the man, the myth, the legend over there is dropping Elon news on us. So there it is, out on Tesla right there. Very happy. Whatever, we held. It's literally 20%, 40%, 60, what? 25, 50, 75, a hundy. So out on the top there, but still good takes. Like that's 50 cents. So out for basically flat because we were like, what the hell? And then a nice little 25 cents, 50 cents, and then $1 win on that one. And then just to recap quickly here, as our best outs for Meta were down here as well. Right around VWAP, some before VWAP, some under VWAP. Couldn't be more happy with the way we traded this close. I hope you guys are happy as well. I just want to check Bed Bath & Beyond before we go to Brendan, and nothing.
I don't want to look.
Goes all the way down and then just hovering in the middle. Well, we are into earnings season right now, and there's a couple names, if not maybe just one, on the board. It's funny because Pepsi was on there and pretty moving today, but we didn't trade it too often. Hopefully we'll trade some of these names tomorrow.
Yeah, a few notable ones here, guys. I noticed this one as well. TSMC, top of the top corner, coming up before the open tomorrow. So we'll have a look at some of the chip names, obviously. But the big day, obviously, going to be Friday. I also noted that tomorrow is Thursday the 13th, not Friday the 13th. So anyone on those lines can deal with that.
Calm down a little bit because although I remember years ago hearing, and again, this is years ago, we've been trading a long time for like 2 decades. I remember a while back hearing a stat of like the market was down like 60-something%, like just above 50% on Friday the 13th. I have no idea if that holds true still.
It's completely incorrect.
It's not even Friday the 13th. My guess is that's not even true anymore. But Walgreens Boots Alliance, man, this is getting beat the heck up, down name, because why not? It pays a dividend, but that's not really doing much for you when it's cut in half on the year. Well, almost cut in half. I'm overstating it, but you start to get to some levels where, heck, I mean, even nibbling on this, it just bounced once off 30. It bounces again. It could be worth a look. That Domino's 300 is a pretty big level on Domino's. We got to respect some of these because earnings is a good catalyst, and sometimes that's where you want to go if there's going to be moves. But I suspect that's not going to be at the front of the minds. At the front of the minds tomorrow is 8:30. And that CPI number. So yes, we'll be on those earnings board. Anything moving, we're going to have it. The watch list will be out and free as always. Sean will have the sticky note as always, but it's going to be about 8:30 in that number. A lot can change between your planning and then when you get in the ring with Mike Tyson and CPI punches you in the face, and you have to be able to adjust on the fly. That's why we're going to come on early and go over it.
I feel that's kind of like Fahad, It's like, all this talk, but then you get in the ring, and then hopefully he's going to deliver. So tonight we're going to see some nice highlights about Fahad. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if Fahad's going to get slapped around today. We'll see. I think Greg was talking about they're going to play again. So we'll see. But Fahad was telling me he's so good at dishing, like at the dimes, that the problem is that when he plays with people that can't finish, that then he doesn't get, you know what I mean? So
you're the chuckles in the back.
The
guys that played with him were just
exactly. So this is why I'm questioning it, right? But a shout out to Fahad as well. Oh, look, I don't know about all you guys tomorrow. I mean, I don't know if there's any major events happening, but Delta reports. So I'm gonna, sleep real well knowing that Delta reports tomorrow. Look at Delta all the way to the downside here. We'll see what happens if that can get going. Again, CPI be damned. I'm excited for Delta earnings.
I'm still chuckling at the whole
Fahad
thing.
That's what he told me. I think it's funny, man. That's why I like the guy.
I got your back with the basketball thing, though, Fahad. I think you can play, bro. I got you. I got you.
Yeah. He's putting up an 11. But you weren't also here when he was trash talking about hitting all these free throws, and then he bricked about 3 or 4 in a row over there. So, all right, here we go, guys. I'm just waiting for Meta to fall down. We only have a minute and a half to go here on this. Meta right now, we're going to see if we can take 60 cents. Or sorry, we're already in the money, 60 cents. What am I talking about? We're trying to take a little bit more than that. We're trying to take 200 period money down here. So we're going to see about 127.40 coming in right now on Meta. Here it comes. I'm bidding down there. We'll see if we can hit the big bomb at the end of the day right now. Shout out to the Seattle Mariners. Shout out to Houston Astros. That was a good game yesterday. Same as Phillies. Everything's been pretty good.
Walk it off on Robbie Ray.
Yeah, walk it off. That's not what they did yesterday, was it?
Oh, sorry, no, they hit the bomb off Robbie Ray.
Right.
Coming in to close the game. And
I was going to say, what the hell is he doing closing the game in the first place?
That's
but
the question.
Yeah, well, you mean won the Cy Young with us last year.
mad respect. I got my Robbie Ray shirt still.
Yeah, exactly. The tight pants man, Robbie Ray. Okay, here we go. I'm still going to wait for that meta bid. I think I could get it after market. We're going to wait at 40, for that one. And of course, it's the man, the myth, the legend.
You didn't have money.
It is Tony. Getting ready to run. Maybe we'll have Tony on tomorrow for a little bit CPI Thursday talk right now.
Yes.
With only a few, sharpen your pencils tomorrow, Tony. Can we get a thumbs up if you want to come on, talk about CPI tomorrow? Oh yeah, there it is. There's and bang, there's the meta out. And we only have 2 and 1. Yes, sir. Thank you, Tony. We'll get some Tony tomorrow. We'll talk about that. Wow, we did get that meta fill. Look at this. Nicely done. Short, out on the 200 period. Sometimes we're lucky enough to get that fill there on meta. So it's right there. Thanks, Fahad, for that. Wow. Okay. And by the way, stay here for a second. I know we're going to go to Brendan, and I don't want to spoil it all. But tomorrow's a big day. Today.
Get out of here.
Today, NASDAQ flat. So we talked. This is what I'm talking about when I say a bad market. Boom, 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 boom. Finish in the middle. Whatever, NASDAQ. We'll be back tomorrow. Guaranteed. This is not rocket science. Guaranteed we won't be at zero tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Look, we could go up 5%, down 5%, and end in the middle. That's possible.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen any day, really. That's a pretty crazy day. How did we finish then on the S&P, Brendan, as we didn't talk about that?
Day lows, unfortunately, for the S&P 500, 0.3 to the downside we end at here, guys. So there was a pretty good downtick there right at the close. The Dow was positive, so there's that. I had 0.09 when all things were said and done at 4. But top to bottom here, pretty choppy day again ahead of what's to come tomorrow.
It's going to be hard to gain.
I was just saying this to Sean. I actually don't know when this is happening, but I remember reading an article about their binary options on things like the futures, like red or green, which it's kind of up or down, like the gambling. And what I think is going to happen is if they do that and there's enough action in them, when you get a day that's flat like this, it'll have a higher tendency to stay flat because it just won't be able to move too far away from that price, too much pegging to that close. I'm not sure that I think that's a great idea, but hey, man, the gamification of the markets do continue. So
yeah,
What?
Why is the bear facing you?
I have no idea. Did I hit that or did you hit that?
I don't know. I think it was probably just maybe Justin. He was here visiting. So, all right. Yeah, what a crazy day, man. We're going to be back tomorrow. Yo, thank you so much here. Well, we'll answer this question quickly as it just popped in here. We don't want to avoid anybody, although Fahad's got to go work on his game and get right to that gym. Are there average timeframes for when overall market is acting one way and then switches to another, or is it more sporadic? Not sure how I worded my question. Hopefully it makes sense. I'm new. Okay, Tristan, what's up, buddy? Are there average time frames for when the overall market is acting one way and then switches to another? Okay, well, basically, I can try to do my best for that. I like to, if we're just going to talk about the market in general, I'm going to call up the triple Qs here. And honestly, it's why I put the 50 period up on the market. And I just tend to think that, this is all that I have on the daily chart. I'm not even looking at anything else. You can look at volumes for different reasons, but generally speaking, it's going to be pretty even. It's like whenever you cross down through, there's the break to the upside, right? Signaling now a bull market or at least a change in direction, change in trend for the market. But it's this kind of a move line is never going to tell you the top or the bottom of anything, because then if that's the bottom, it's going to have to come back up. It just kind of tells you trend changes. So for me, there's the move back up. And if you got short on the Qs right here at 305 again, now you're all the way down to 262. So, that's part of it. So I would always look to see, here we go again, 50 period up here, breaks back down below. You could still be short off of that break as well. But anyways, I don't know if I answered your question good there, but I like to look at 50 periods. It's actually just as good for stocks. Let me get another stock that's maybe not as prevalent in the NASDAQ. Let's just talk about Uber then quickly for another one. You can also use the same kind of thing for stock. Like here it is right here. It follows the 50 period all the way down. There's the break to the upside, giving you that. There's the break to the downside again, giving you a little bit. And we haven't really broken with any conviction back up to the upside, so that there's the fall again. So you want to use 50 period moving averages in conjunction with possible support and resistance levels and other little areas like that. So again, I hope that helps, Tristan. I like the 50 period for sort of trend changes, and I hope you did a good job on that. But definitely, man, join us tomorrow as we'll answer more questions. Thank you for that, Tristan. I hope that was good. Yeah, those binary options, I sort of said it to Neil, like, those are going to be way too hard to game, so it's just kind of like flipping a coin. You're either going to be right or wrong, but then I guess the odds are going to change, right, throughout the day, so that would kind of be cool.
It depends on the volume. Like, if they're active enough, then I think that the effect that they would have would be not good for the markets and trading.
Imagine the NASDAQ's down 2%.
Well, that's a different story. Like,
then you can get like 20 to 1 on your money or something.
Then you'll get those chances. But on days like today, where everyone's expecting a big move and then it hugs it.
Yes, that would be a good one too.
It'll be interesting because it'll be hard to get away from the price at that point. But that's in the future. I love speculating about stuff like this because trading is fun.
All right, yeah, guys, trading is very fun. Thanks for the stream again, guys. Thanks for reloading the stream as well. We will try to fix up some of those issues, or I'll stop talking about JP Morgan, and then we won't get pulled off of that.
Thanks, Sean.
As well. I want to thank our sponsor as well, True Trading Group. I see the link up there in the chat. Make sure you do check that out. All right, guys, we got to go because we got to sleep. We got our kids stuff tonight. We got to get locked and loaded for tomorrow, Brendo. You're getting ready for that. You excited for tomorrow?
CPI. It's going to be the entire day tomorrow, so won't be a quiet one. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. We're joining live tomorrow at 8:25. So make sure you do that. We're running a little bit late tonight, and it's not because of Fahad, so that's great. All right, it's 4:06.
It's always because of Fahad.
It is. It sort of always is. All right, let's join us tomorrow, 8:25 in the morning. For everybody here,